Truly, if there is evil in this world, it lies within the heart of mankind. Edward D. Morrison. And yes, that was Japanese voice acting in the background. Might be a bit muffled, but that's kind of how it is. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tales of Phantasia for the Super Famicom. This is the English fan translation. This game was never released outside of Japan, and well, it's a pretty fascinating little game. I can recommend you give it a shot, although there is also remakes for this game. Specifically, there is a PlayStation remake, and there is also a PSP remake, and then there is, I think, another one that is called Narakiri Dungeon. I don't know whether that's actually the same game or not. However, the PlayStation one is probably a bit more casual friendly. Overall, they have improved on pretty much everything. Personally, I like this version a lot, just mainly because this is, well, the version I played the most. This is the one that I ended up speedrunning. And well, even though I speedrun this game, I actually have never done everything or a lot of the things in the game, so let's see how far we can get with this. And, well, I hope you enjoy the show. Alrighty, that sounds nice, Lachlan. I hope you're doing well soon as well. I'm doing quite excellent. Wicked Gamer dude, thank you for the host. So, let me show you real quick. This game has a pretty high emphasis on sound effects, sound design, and also a musical fidelity. Keep in mind, once again, this is a Super Nintendo game. I am playing this on console right now. Because this is, well, not the original cartridge, since this is the fan translation. However, let me assure you, the original cartridge does contain everything just like this for Super Nintendo, and it's kind of ridiculous because, well, that intro song had voice acting, which is kind of crazy because they kind of have to switch out those whatever registers on the fly for this to even work. They put a lot of effort into the technical fidelity of this game. So it's pretty crazy. There's an entire sound player where I can make you hear things on the left and the right. Actually, I don't know whether that comes through on stream, but either way, it's pretty crazy what they made with this game. And you can listen to all the game's themes, actually almost all of them, except for one. Actually, except for 3 in the music player. So, maybe turn up the game audio just a tad? We can do that. So, how's this? Can you actually hear the background music now? That would be good to note before we start. Also, there is actually a hidden hard mode in this game. If you press X, Y, B and A at the same time as selecting new game, you will hear a little yatta in the background, and that basically activates hard mode, which I will be playing on hard mode. I know this game well enough that it shouldn't be too much of a difficulty. I might actually still die in the beginning, but later on, once we get past a certain point, we should be perfectly fine. So, I hope the game audio is not too loud in comparison to the voice anyways, and let's get this started. New game? Yatta! No, hang on. We can name our character as well. So, in case you're wondering, there's so many empty character slots that we cannot select. This is because, well, this game was obviously originally Japanese, with Japanese characters, but the fan translation just kind of didn't really get rid of the spaces down there. So it can get really weird effects if you select some empty spaces from down there, so I don't actually know what it does. It just looks weird in the text box sometimes. And other than that, our main character here is called Kless, or Kress, as it is later, I think, in the PlayStation version. Also, by the way, the PlayStation version is only fan translated as well. I think the first release outside of Japan was on the PSP. I'm actually not sure about that. I've only played the Japanese PSP version very briefly. Well, what is our hero named? Kress. I think I'll just leave it like this. Normally I like actually changing up my characters' names as well. But in this case, I'm going to leave it as Kress. Because, by the way, I'm going to be switching between Kless and Kress, just because that's kind of what I'm used to. In Japanese, the R and L sound is basically interchangeable. It's kind of the same. They don't have a differentiation between the two. So I'm just going to say usually something in between there. But either way, I'm going to refer to this character as Kress anyways. So I will just stick to this being the main character name. So well, let us get going. Well, the introduction to the game starts with a little cutscene where you see the battle scene. This is kind of how the entire battle layout and system works. You will be introduced to that shortly. I will be explaining that a bit more in detail, but the short version is one of the little guys on the left ended up casting a spell, Indignation. And the big blonde guy on the right goes, "No, no, this cannot be!" And then turns into those little stars, and that's what we see flying right now. I'm not sure what to call those stars, but that is sufficiently accurate in my opinion. Greetings to you, Aigara, welcome. And also Komaru and Burns and Dissident, welcome. Also, real quick, sometimes my capture for the SNES ends up getting hung up. I hope it's not going to happen in unfortunate circumstances, but I usually will try to pause, and I hope it doesn't happen too often. And yes, the music of this game is amazing. And sound effect design, I think that's a separate thing. Sound effect design is amazing. I will potentially point out certain things that I just like especially about it, but you'll see. Also, the credits are kind of at the beginning. There's actually something special you can do with the credits sequence at the very end of the game, but for now, this is what you see. There's an OC remix album of this soundtrack. I was actually not aware of that. I might have to look into that, or well, listen into it. Boom. We have landed somewhere. Oh. How? Who are you? What are you doing here? No! After generations, this curse upon my family finally ends. Ten years have since passed. Dad, you called me? Cla's father is named Miguel. How's your mother doing today? She's doing much better. Her fever is gone. She would be fine in a day or two. Good. I'm glad she's feeling better. I need to talk about the pendant. My pendant? The one you gave me for my birthday? What about it? Hey Amy, I'm going to hunting today. Is Clef going too? Can I come too? Sorry Amy, you're still too young. Be a good girl and wait here for me to come back, okay? Well, okay. Be careful, Thefter. I will. See you later, sis. Come on, class. What are you waiting for? Hello? Well, isn't that Chester's voice coming from outside? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I'm supposed to go hunting with Chester today. Ah, I see. We'll talk about it over dinner tonight. Okay, I'll see you then. Good luck, son. Master Tristan, you're more than welcome to stay here with us as long as you like. Oh, thank you kindly, Sir Miguel. I'm glad someone in this house knows how to train rather than going to play in the woods. Sorry I'm late, Chester. Master Tristan came by the house. Let's wait. Mom, you're still sick. Get back to bed and get some rest. I know. I'm just worried. This area just isn't safe anymore. Mom, Chester's coming with me. We'll be fine. Don't worry, Miss Alvin. We'll be back in with plenty of food. You'll need to be rested just so you can cook it all. Alright, just please be careful and take these with you. Your mom gives you 2 apple gummies. And good afternoon to you, newspaper. Welcome. And we are in Todos village. So this is how our game starts. Now, this is like your standard RPG where you're in town, but I would like to point out that this game looks fascinating. A lot of people tend to point out the, let's say, rather bleached out color a bit because, well, it's not as colorful and as bright as it could be, and that kind of persists through the entirety of the game. But there's so many little details everywhere. The water is moving, there's fish in the water, there is, by the way, Master Tristan just looking out the window right here. Can you talk to him? No. Also, let us first of all introduce you to, let's say, part of the screen here. Skills we get over later, items we get over later. Actually no, we can just go into items real quick. So items, we here just received some apple gummies. Those are recovery items that recover 30% of your maximum HP. All recovery items are percentage based. And well, then we also have those options up here. Basically those are sorting options. I will mainly be using sort by news acquired if anything, rather than anything else, but you can sort your inventory through different categories. A, B, C, D, etc. I don't know whether this actually works properly, because the original is in Japanese and the items are all named differently and the alphabet is differently. Either way, that's the items. Form, what does form do? Basically, here we have our two characters. This is how the battle layout is set up. Crest is in the front, Chester is in the back. We can move him across wherever we want him to be, and then just kind of accept that. Battle layout can be really handy in various situations for different reasons. For example, if I want to run away from battle, I can set Crest all the way to the back, and I will be quicker to run away from. So those are all just little things. Custom message speed. I would like to have message speed a bit faster, maybe not quite that fast for a casual playthrough, but a little bit faster would be nice. Then we can even, well, set our keybinds if we wanted to do that. This game has mono sounds, stereo and surround. Surround actually sounds really nice for me in my headphones, but I do believe it does not actually get properly through the stream, unfortunately, so I'm kind of bound to set it to stereo. Battle on and off. So this sounds like a bit of a weird option when you see battle on and off. But essentially at the beginning of the battle, the camera pans across the screen, shows you the enemies, and then scrolls back to your characters. This is what this refers to. I usually turn it off. I'm going to leave it on for now. Then, targeting mode, you have automatic, semi-auto and manual. So this is a very, well, this is the very first Tales games. If you have ever played Tales of Symphonia, you might be somewhat familiar with this concept. Essentially, the battles are real time. You move left, right, it's 2D plane, so to speak, kind of like Street Fighter in a sense even. And you just move left, right, you attack, and that's it. This game is the first Tales game, which means you actually don't have the option to run manually, even if you wanted to. You also don't have that much freedom in placing yourself, so you're just limited to only targeting enemies. For anyone who does not know what that means, I will explain that once we get to the first battle. So, I usually set it to manual, that way it does not automatically reset my target. But semi-auto is definitely a pretty good option to start out with if you're not too used to it. Essentially, automatic always automatically selects the closest target. Semi-auto only selects the closest target if we move left or right. And manual does never select an automatic target unless I manually change it. Battle voice, you can turn it on or off. We might want to turn that off later, but I'm actually never bothered by it, so you will need to tell me whether that is something you would like to change. Event voice, I don't actually even know what that does. Then we have our window. We can change our window color. A bit more red. A bit less blue. Yeah. I don't even know what the second window does, to be completely honest with you. But, hey, a little bit more purple. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Let me set that back. Okay. And that is custom. Then we also have status. We are through the menu really soon, don't worry. In the status, we can actually see our, well, hero portrait. I actually really like those portraits on the right there. They are really nicely done overall, especially for Super Nintendo era pixel art. I will point out one of the portraits that I like especially much. But also worth noting, if you're used to Tales of Symphonia, for example, you cannot change main character. You will always be only controlling Cress, and that's it. So I never have the option to choose Chester. The basic concept of battle is Cress, he has some TP, which is essentially your technical points or magic points. We are level 1, 144 HP, 10 TP. Chester has 0 TP. This is different in the remake. In the remake, Chester also can learn abilities, but in the original, he can never actually learn any abilities at all. So it kind of... well, he's auto-attacking. He's not bad at it, but he's only auto-attacking. Also, Chester is an archer, you are a swordsman. How you want to go hunting with a sword in the woods is beyond me, but this is a different world, so it's fine. Tactics: aim carefully, go berserk, help fighter, defend. This is basically just how they generally behave in battle. And equipment, we had just a longsword, a tunic, a wooden shield for our main hero, and then a mantle. The mantle literally doesn't do anything, but you have one. And here we have a short bow and a tunic. And, well, that's that for now. So, I'm actually curious. I've never really explored much of the world myself, so I'm curious what the various characters have to say. This is Cress's house, and as you may have seen, there are people training? Sword mastery, and this is your father, so he is probably the leader of the school. Hi. We are leaving now. Be back by sundown, Cress. I will, Dad. Ouch! Get out of the way, Cress. I did not know that. I did not know this could happen. Ding. That's neat. Oh well. Hello. Ho! Ha! Ho! How much longer do we have to keep this up? Hi. Ha! If practice doesn't end soon, I'll die of exhaustion. Oh. He's a pretty strict teacher, your father. Master Tristan, hello. Have you been practicing? You have the potential to be an even greater swordsman than your father was. Sometimes I might change up the text because I kind of remember how it is, but I don't read it properly, so I apologize when that happens. But it should always still have the same idea. You're Miguel Alvin's son, huh? I hope sometimes you and I can spar together. You know what? I'm going to set the text speed to be fast anyways, because I'm used to that. There's certain text pieces that are actually slowed down despite the text being sped up, just for dramatic purposes. You will see. Hi. Mr. Alvin is finally teaching me how to use a real sword. I can't wait to learn his techniques. By the way, just a little thing I would like to point out about movement in this game. Often in RPGs, they don't really give that much thought to movement, but in this one here, let's say I want to go up here, but I'm walking into a wall. It can be sometimes a bit difficult to hit exactly or go around exactly the corner. A lot of RPGs make you stop right here and you can no longer walk. But in this one, I press up and it just moves me to the side. It's actually really nice. So that smooths out the movement a lot. There's a lot of attention to detail in this game. And I'm sorry if I just kind of... what's the word? Keep blabbering about it. I just really like this game. So your mother is resting. She's finally asleep. Rest well. There's some fireplace. Hooray! Alrighty. Greetings, lady. Are you a maid? She is a maid. Shh, Glass, be quiet. Your mother's trying to sleep. Okay. Let's not be too loud. There are not nearly enough toilets in RPGs. I mean, this is kind of a like a Middle Ages type thing. I feel like the toilets are probably either straight into the water or somewhere out in the woods or something like that. But fair. Here's Chester's house and his little sister Amy. Somewhere. It's a pretty big house actually. He does not seem to have any parents because... Hi. Are you guys going hunting today? You sure can't keep up with death, Chester? Hey, swords aren't the only weapons. Nope. And yeah, we're going to hunt with swords. Which works surprisingly well, as you're going to see. By the way, there's reflection in the water. Which that's also kind of crazy for a SNS game. It's just... Ah! I'm sorry. Hi. Oh, Class, you surprised me. We're getting married soon, so we are very busy with all the wedding preparations. Do I really have to be an usher? What does that mean? What is an usher? Hi. I'm a traveler. This is a nice place. I may stay a while. Hi. Congratulations! Chris, I hope that someday you find someone who can make you as happy as she makes me. Oh, that's kind of cute. Here's the church where they probably will get married. St. Linneaus Chapel. Hi. Father Scott. Ah, do you have a prayer request? Nah. Isn't Chen getting married here soon? What are you doing for the wedding preparations? I think I'm going to be an usher or something. I see. This chapel was named after Linneaus, the man who founded Todos, so I don't want to disrespect his name by having a terrible marriage ceremony held here. Wow. Yes, this is with the OSSC. This is console. Sister Christina. Ah, Chris, what brings you to this chapel? Just thought I'd stop by to pray before I leave. You've always been a good kid. I'm sure God has always something special in store for you. Hi. Religion is a good thing to have, but lately these religious sellouts from Euclid have been terrorizing people. Sometimes belief in a god can be taken too far. Man, I love this chapel. Those statues are so sexy. What am I saying? They are goddesses. What if they were listening? Oh no. I mean, they look pretty interesting. They kind of look like Valkyries, if you ask me. Can't read the sign, so... Alright. I wonder whether there's actually an option to pray somewhere, like if you go to a specific spot, it'll be a praying. I'm just exploring the game now. Hi. Hey, can I talk to you for a sec? So many terrible events have been happening around here. I'm supposed to ring this bell if anything happens here in Todos. So, keep that in mind. My father will teach me how to use a sword someday. I can't wait. Whee! Armory. Hi. Because of the great sword teachers here in Todos, there are some great blacksmiths here too. Hi. Having the greatest weapon in the world means nothing unless you can know how to use it. He does not sell us anything, because we already have a sword. Why would we want another one? Hello! Oh, that's a nice statue. We can move it around. Hello. Hey, can you do me a favor and take that statue to the ale? A statue of a bush baby? What is it doing here? It's my husband's hottie. He cars them all the time. I see. It's really good. Carry it? Sure. Put it next to the window, please. I sure appreciate this. Alrighty. So these little guys are bush babies. You will get to see them more. Is that here okay? Here's a little spending money for you as a reward. Receive 10 gold. Thank you very much, lady. Yeah, Krusty is just kind of the exemplary kid. Pretty good guy overall. Hi. Maybe a bit young. I'm traveling with my husband. We think we might like to move here. My husband is out taking a walk. Oh, that's the guy on the bridge as well. I see. Market. Hi. Hey, Chester, how's Amy? I know how much she likes apples, and I just got a fresh crop today. Bring this to her for me, okay? The store owner gives you an apple to take to Amy. Alright, let's do that. Hi. Spencer, Dude, I don't know why I have to work so hard. We don't even have any customers here.
I heard that. Get your arse in gear. Back to work.
Ah, yes, sir. And he moves twice as fast now. Oh, and they just fly away when you interact with those. I never knew that. So let's bring the apple to Amy. Typically pronounced with I. It's an isle? So it's an isle. Thank you, Prof. Ness. Appreciate that. Hi, we have an apple for you. Amy, I picked up an apple at the store for you.
Thanks, Esther. You're the best brother I ever had.
Amy, I'm the only brother you've ever had.
I know, but I love you anyway.
That's kind of adorable. Alrighty, let's finally get going. Wait, is ours a swear? I don't consider it one, but that might just be a cultural thing. Alrighty.
Are you two leaving? Hey, wait a second, guys. We're going hunting. I see. Have fun and good luck.
Where are you headed, Tristan? Oh, where are you headed, Tristan?
I'm going to visit a friend. Good day.
Also, welcome Prof. Ness and the Shady Note. Hope you guys are doing well. So here we are on the overworld. The first thing I'm going to do is save. Why? Well, combat in this game is actually pretty cutthroat. It's really easy to no die. I don't think I'm going anywhere else, so let's just go into the woods and start hunting. Alrighty, so here we are in an area where there is random encounters. How do random encounters work? Well, I walk around for long enough. A step counter essentially goes from anywhere between 50 and 160 and then counts down to 0 every time I take a little step. One step, by the way, is half a tile. And when it reaches 0, eventually, we get into combat. And this is the battle panning where it just kind of shows I can also do that manually when I press start. So this is combat. There's just 2 bees. In the bottom right you can see the enemies and amounts of them. Bottom left you can see Cress has 144 HP, 10 TP, as in that's magic points. Chester is just attacking here straight up. And the battle is very simplistic. If I press the attack button, I run up to the enemy and attack them. If I press the attack button twice, also you just get experience and sometimes some useful items. We just got an apple gummy, which is a healing item. If I press the attack button twice, it does a jumping attack. If I press up to attack, it does a stab attack. And that's all you do. Then there's also techniques. We will get to them once we get some techniques.
Hey, there goes a boar.
Oh.
Let's follow it.
Alrighty, let's follow the boar. Seems like it has gone over here somewhere. There's a chest. What's in here? Found a life bottle. A life bottle allows you to revive a character that has fallen in battle. Here we have a bugbear and owl. Bugbears are your basic enemies. Just not too strong, but also not to be underestimated this early on. The owls are actually kind of scary, honestly. And it's worth noting, I cannot jump attack if I'm too far away from the enemy. Also, I'm going to use an apple here on Cress, because once again, you die really fast in this game. I need to be careful. Well, that's awkward. I might just die straight up in this first battle here. By the way, experience is always distributed among the characters. Jester is now level 2, and I'm straight up out of commission. Using a life bottle in battle takes quite a lot of time until you get revived, so you need to be really careful about that. Alright, just check something. And you can also run away from battle. I'm just holding the L button in order to run away. Basically L and R allow me to move left and right as well. Also, if I press L and R, basically my party orientation by default is facing from from left to right. Crest is in the front, chest is in the back. But if I press L, it will basically reverse that orientation to the left side. Sometimes that is necessary and can be quite helpful. I greetings to you, Benacut. Welcome to you as well. You only just thought about many games might use color subtractive blend for shadows, but Tales of Phantasia maps, which also contain water reflections, would need to be using color average blend, since SNES can only do one blend type at a time. An usher is someone who helps seat the guest during a church or a wedding. It's a very tiny role in a wedding. I see. And Crest doesn't even want to do that, he's just lazy. There he goes again! Alrighty. There he goes again indeed. Oh. More bugbears! So, if you do jumping attacks, they deal a bit more damage, but I'm also prone to getting hit by those enemies, especially that owl is kind of dangerous. Also, you can see sometimes S or L over enemies' heads. What that essentially means is it's short range or long range. Once the enemies are within a certain radius, they become short range targets, which means there's a difference between whether you are standing right in front of an enemy or you are standing far away from them. If you stand right in front of them, also we just learned Cyan Bolt with our crest, because it leveled up to level 2, we get a creamy cheese. I'll check that in a second. If you're standing right in front of an enemy, you just do a regular swing attack. What does the creamy cheese do? Well, it is a food item. A nice camembert. If I use it, put it in my food sack. At the bottom, you can see in the bottom right, food 20. What that does, every time I take a step, actually every few steps it seems like, it will use up some of the food items and heal my character. So Crest just regained 10 HP. You gain 1 HP per food. It can be useful early on, but it's not all that great in the grand scheme of things. So, let's continue. Good morning, Stinger. How are you doing? Darn, where did it go? That boar was just here a second ago. I'll take a look around. I could have sworn I saw it come this way. Please, class, you must protect this tree. But it's already... It's blooming then? No, it's rotten. Huh? That was weird. No luck. Find anything? Chris, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. No, I'm fine. Let's keep looking. There it is, let's go! Alrighty, so we here have our first boss fight. So, we have boar and baby boar. There's still 3 baby boars. What they do is run away. If you kill a baby boar, they will actually drop you some meat. The boar itself, it just tries to attack you. And it's pretty strong and brutal, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be targeting the baby boar, trying to get behind the baby boar is in front. Well, that's awkward. I'm going to die here. Yep, I'm going to die here. I'm not going to be able to survive this. Unless a ridiculous streak of luck happens. Yeah, you are defeated. And what do you get when you are defeated? Well, their deaths mark the end for all hopes and dreams. Pretty dark. Either way, this is kind of the trickiest starter on hard mode. It's really not all that difficult in the grand scheme of things if I get a good setup, but this can happen really easily that you just straight up die. But that's probably one of the most difficult things about starting out this game. This is not even necessarily just hard mode, by the way. Also, I forgot about the skill. Holy cow. Hard mode essentially makes enemies deal significantly more damage. This is not necessarily just about hard mode. This is kind of true for the game itself as well. Like, it is pretty tough. Something else I haven't really pointed out yet. Your characters do have a luck stat. What a luck stat does for you is... Oh, nice. We get more apple gummies for healing. I didn't have enough of those earlier. What the luck stat does for you is kind of a bit obscure. It never really tells you much about anything. Also, by the way, this is just your skills that you have set. This luck stat essentially determines how quick you get into another enemy encounter. And depending on your progress, sometimes your luck stat gets just kind of set to a new value. I'm getting out of here. 3 owls are too strong for my taste. We are running away. Welcome me out, and thank you, Stinger, appreciate that. Yeah, as I said, this has a lot of attention to detail. Okay, we defeat bees, that's okay. I'll just have Jess to deal with the bees. We did not level up yet. Do we want to level up? Nah, it's fine. We don't need to level up, just heal up to full so we are not a one-shot. And try this again. Unfortunately, I have to rewatch the cutscene. But yeah, even if you're really good at this game, the enemies can just destroy you anyways. It's actually a lot like Tales of Symphonia in the sense that if you get to higher level enemies, they are really brutal. And that's kind of how you start out this game. It's not a friendly start, but oh well. Where the 3 shadows overlaps, the water here, the water is pre-colored black, so you won't notice only the reflection of the sprite is being blended in. I see. Once again, we are playing on hard mode, which means enemies deal a lot more damage. I don't think it affects their HP. I think they just merely deal more damage. So, alright, let's try. Okay. I didn't manage to catch any baby boar, but now I'm behind the boar. So, I'm just swinging at the boar here, and this is kind of the safe setup on how to try to defeat this guy. Essentially, from the front, enemies can block, but from the back, they cannot. So I'm literally just standing right behind him, close enough that Crest, instead of swinging and running back to his original position, will just keep swinging. I'm not sure I pointed that out properly, but if you attack, your character runs up to the enemy, whacks them once with whichever attack you selected, and then goes back to his original position. That's automatic. I'm not actually running or moving myself in combat. I can only select an enemy and attack, which is why I had to attack a little boar at the back in order to actually get behind the boar. You cannot manually walk behind enemies, usually. There's one instance where it works. You will see that eventually.
Yeah, that's the biggest animal we've ever killed. This will be plenty of feeding. Let's get home.
That's the village alarm. Something's happened.
Hurry up!
Well, we've learned that the bells is only being rung when something bad happens. Also, now we are running. Like, really running. Also, let's kill the bees because maybe I get some apples more. Yeah, okay. We are running. Like, this is literally run speed. You are moving 1 tile every 4 frames, 1 step every 2 frames. You are incredibly fast when you run in this game. And this is automatic. I cannot actually move any slower myself. This is just basically pressing story matters. We need to be fast here. There's no other way around it. Oh my... What happened? Oh my god.
Amy,
I've got to find her! So... You know, this game doesn't start out very friendly in terms of combat, but... Who could slaughter an innocent child like this? May your soul rest in peace. Yes, they are straight up dead. This game doesn't sound out friendly story-wise either. Oh. May your soul rest in peace. Just when they were about to get married, they almost reached back to each other again. Dad! Mom! Mom, wake up! Don't die!
Chris, run away. Go north to Euclid and see your uncle. You repented this.
They who? Who did this? Mom! Open your eyes, please! Don't leave me! No! Chester, I'm so sorry. It's too dangerous to stay here. Let's go to my uncle's place. I can't leave Amy and the other villagers like this. Amy was the only family I had, Chris. Look, I'm staying. If you leave alone. I have to make sure they all get a proper burial. Even if I have to do it by myself. They at least deserve that much. But if the people who did this return, I don't want to lose you too. Sorry, Chris, but I can't. Chester, go ahead without me. I'll catch up when I'm finished here. It's dangerous for both to stay. Promise me that I'll see you again soon. I promise. Someday you and I will fight side by side again. And we'll find who did this. Alright. Goodbye, my friend. Go now. I promise I'll come after you. Alright, I'll be waiting to the north in Euclid. Don't forget your promise. Yeah. May you rest in peace.
Your pendant is...
My pendant? Is that what my parents were trying to tell me? My father gave this to me. I've got to get out of here. It's the only way Chester will be safe. And in the end, both of those ended up moving closer together. Your mother apparently was still alive to an extent, just long enough to move over to your father. Father. And this is the only building you can still enter. Broken down. Walls. Apparently the attackers were rather strong, to say the least. And they also left something behind here. This sword doesn't belong here. It's not mine, and it's not Dad's. Perhaps it belonged to one of the people who attacked Totus? Took the knight's saber. And indeed. This is a sword that we can now equip. Well, real quick about something about the stats. Every weapon has a slice and a stab value. Our current weapon was both the same strength for slice and stab. Some weapons are better in slicing, some weapons are better in stabbing. And accuracy also determines whether you basically manage to hit enemies beyond their, as in without them actually defending. And well, so much detail here. Even the bed blanket is just kind of as if someone just got out of bed. Wow. Well, we just are going north to Todos, I guess. Let's take a quick look around these areas here, and also, let's not forget to save. We only have one character now, so it's going to be a lot easier to accidentally die. Also, something different, I'd like to point out skills. We haven't looked at those yet. On the right you can see skills that are selectable for short range, which is SR, and long range. Long range is essentially an attacks you can only use at long range. You cannot use long range attack at short range. It's just straight up impossible. Zion Bolt, firebolt of energy along the ground at the enemy. This is a fan translation of very early age. I believe this was even before Tales of Symphonia released, so we didn't have official translations for various of those abilities that we now know under different names. Zion Bolt you made known as... what was it called in Symphonia? Either way, that all the abilities pretty much exist in the newer translations too. So here we have two Bs. I need to be careful because, well, Chester is no longer backing me up with his bow, but that also means I get twice as much experience, which is nice. You're supposed to go north, but here's a cave. I've never taken a look at this before, so I'm curious what this is going to be about or whether there's anything inside here. We are here in the Cave of Spirits. There's a door there. And here we have falcons. Those are basically the upgraded enemies. My weapon is pretty decent. I want to take out that falcon thing before I target the other one. Usually enemies that are behind other enemies will not actually attack you. Essentially they will prioritize just waiting behind other enemies. Kind of they need to be close enough to you to initiate an action. Les has gained another level, so we actually survived that. Whenever you gain level, you automatically gain the HP that you gained and also TP, so that's kind of nice. Demon Fang, right, that was the name. And we cannot enter here. Alright. I did not know that, I was just curious about it. So, and aside from that, more falcons, I'm just walking away now. By the way, there's also a little glitch that you can do whenever you run away from combat. It will... oh, wolf with bugbears. Let's take out the wolf or try to anyways. I actually never fight wolves, because so I had no idea how they react exactly. Oh, that's a jump attack. Haha, but I got you. Bugbears. We know, by the way, whenever the screen flashes bright like this briefly, that's a critical hit. So that's kind of nice. Also for combat in general, I will be aiming to kill enemies at least once. All of them, and then probably often run away from combat. I will also use some measures that I know from speedrunning in order to potentially just not get any encounters if I feel like it is fit for it. You will see. It's basically mainly just knowledge of mechanics rather than abusing any glitches though. Although I might just point out some glitches too if we happen to be around them. So, and then there's one more thing over here to the west. Another wolf and bugbears. So the wolves here attack really fast, so I need to take him out in order to run away safely. But at the same time, I might as well finish off the bugbears too now. So that knife saber is incredibly powerful compared to what we used before. Really, really strong. Well, it's kind of nice, because that's nice. Also, maybe I should use the Demon Fang, or Cyan Bolt, or Machine Gun. So Machine Gun basically just goes along the ground, and it can only hit ground units. So if an enemy is flying, you cannot hit him with a machine gun, which makes sense, I guess. Also worth noting, once again, if an enemy is too close to me, I cannot jump attack. So if a flying enemy is right above me, and I cannot hit him with a regular swing, I have to move away from it, which can be a bit awkward. But you'll see. Here we have another thingy. Hi. Woof woof. Thank you. It's locked. Well, that's all there is here. Is anything specially controlled whether an attack yields a downward slash or an upward stab? For the jump attack, I think it's mainly distance, as in if you are middle range, you will do a upward one. Also, if you do a stab or a slash, it depends on whether you are holding up on the D-pad or not. It's another cave. And there is some form of wraith here. Hi, by the way, you can talk with those guys from 1 or half a tile away, and sometimes it has really funky effects. I'll show some of those. There's nothing terribly useful about it. Also, here we have slimes. Slimes are actually pretty scary. Kind of strong, to say the least. So if I miss my attack, as in they block it, that can be dangerous. So in often cases, dual kick learned. Hey, that's nice. In often cases, I will move close enough to enemies. Also, dual kick is a close range attack, so we have now a close range move. In often cases, I will move close enough to enemies, just slash, 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 because that's more efficient, but not always. So with this guy, I can actually not interact from half a tile away. It doesn't do anything. But ambushed. There's a ghoul and a skeleton. This is the dual kick. It basically deals a kick, and then a stab at the end with the weapon. It does really good damage, and depending on enemy defenses, you can take them out really, really fast with it. 27 experience gained, 72 gold acquired. So, defeated those guys, we get a mixed gummy for our troubles. A mixed gummy is refilling your TP and also your HP for 30%. That's kind of nice. Enter at your own risk. Can we actually enter? The door won't budge. Nope, we cannot enter. So that's all we can do here. Essentially, once again, also ambush, by the way, usually enemies just come from right up behind you. So it's called an ambush because your party orientation is normally facing to the right, and, well, the enemies come from the left side, so you need to reorientate yourself rather quickly. Also, by the way, we regenerate a little bit of TP after every battle, so it's useful to just use up some of them. Currently we only regenerate 2 TP after each battle, so it's kind of not a whole lot, honestly. But that's fine. Alrighty, and I would say we have kind of looked at those things. I was mostly curious about that. I was reasonably certain there was nothing around these parts, but sometimes you never know. Maybe now that I know the game better, rather than my first casual playthrough, I might discover something new. Alrighty, and now we just go north. And while we go north, there's a little mountain passage. Also, I love the music. Sometimes I might just sit for a while and let you listen to the music, because it's so good. I can't carry the statue, but maybe I can pull it around? You can push or pull on stones that are directly in front of you by pressing and holding except. Try moving the statue around. Indeed, we can move it around. This sign is so old that the letters are illegible. Hi, who are you, sir?
I'm a merchant. Want to see my wares?
Indeed, it's actually kind of nice. So, we already got a mixed gummy, which is worth 1,000 gold. That's a lot of money, I'm going to sell it. And in turn, I'm going to buy some orange gummies, which orange gummies are TP regenerative items, which is nice. Remedy bottle, cure all medicine for ailments, literally cures everything, which is nice. And flare bottles, increase attack power before 30% in battle. That is before enemies attack, defense reduce your attack, so it's actually usually a lot more than 30% damage increase. It's really good. I'm just going to buy 2 of those, 1 of those. I'm not even sure when I'm going to be using those. The maximum amount of items you can have in your inventory is 15. And I just spent all my gold. I just realized that was not clever.
Nice doing business with you.
Alrighty, and there's 2 paths we can choose. To the left is literally just leaving the area. Topwards is actually a little bit of a different path. So there's that. Is that actually cut off slightly, or does that just look like it from me? B! By the way, the encounter rate is pretty heavy in this game, and there's actually something that is never explained anywhere that makes it actually kind of even worse. I will point it out once we get to that point, which is very soon. But it's a bit of a quirky thing that they did remove in future iterations of the remake of this game. This is only exclusive to the SNES version. Actually, I might explain this right now, because right now I have a bit of time. Essentially, in the next town, I can buy an accessory. That accessory allows me to run outside of combat and just hold the B button down and we run, kind of as fast as we were running back to town after the bells were ringing. And what that does for me is, well, I run twice as fast. Isn't that nice? Well, as we can see, combat is frequent. You very often get into battle. We get another level. Nice. So the encounter rate is very high, as is the case with many of the older RPGs of the SNES and probably mostly NES era, but this is definitely one of those as well. However, don't worry, we have means to change that around a little bit, and also when you run outside of combat, you get into combat literally twice as quick. As in, you know how I said the game decides to be of a counter between, I said 50, but that was like 10 steps just now between the last and this combat. But yeah, it decides between a number between, I guess, like 20 and 150, and then it counts down that number until you reach 0. That number depletes twice as quick, twice per step, 4 times per tile if you run instead of just walk. So even if I can run, I will probably just walk in dungeons because that reduces encounter rate by half, even if I can run. So yeah. Also, it's worth noting, this is probably one of the most extreme areas I've kind of come across. Certain areas have a higher encounter rate. Let's just use the creamy cheese so we recover HP while we are walking around. Some areas have a way higher encounter rate than others. This one is... I did not even know that. This seems to be an area with the highest encounter rate that I'm aware of anyways. Like, this is kind of crazy. Holy cow. So depending on where you are, the encounter rate is different, and once again, depending on your luck stat, you have a higher chance of getting more time in between encounters, etc. I'm not entirely sure about it, how it works with mechanics-wise, but that's a thing. We have finally arrived at the peak of this little mountain area here. And moving on. That, oh, once again, that flying enemy was on the ground, so I could hit him with regular attack. A life bottle and orange gummy was found. Pretty decent items, probably not worth the effort going over here, honestly. You got a Saint's Rapier early on. I've heard of that glitch. I have no idea how it works. I do believe it is exclusive to the fan translation, however, rather than the original one. As in, I've read about it, I've done a fair bit of research about this game, but if you have any idea on how to reproduce that, and this might be a thing that actually does exist in the original rather than just being something that happened because fan translation, I would be really interested in that, honestly. But once again, I do think this is a fan translation bug that was introduced here somehow, and if that happens to me, I'm going to be curious and interested in it, but I'm not going to be using it. If I remember correctly, question mark items are assigned to you acquire them, but not when you identify them, so something must have dropped it as such. Yes, in that case. So if case we got a question mark item, we would need to identify them first. Right, the Game Boy Advance version exists too. Ha! I completely blocked that out of my memory. Game Boy Advance version is actually the first English translation of this game you can play outside of Japan without a fan translation. Uncle Olsen's house in the northwest of town. Alrighty, we're not going there immediately, but we're going to go to other places first. So here we have an item shop. In item shop you can just buy items. Apple gummies, kind of more or less the same, and also the prices are always the same in all places wherever you keep items, so the merchant earlier didn't actually scam us like Nico does sometimes in Secret of Mana. Talk to the man at the counter if you want to buy something. I guess we are still in the tutorial area. Thank you, lady. Hi.
Excuse me, how can I get to Taurus? I want to see Miguel. Miguel, the famous teacher of Taurus, trained many of the soldiers here in Euclid.
Bad news, buddy. And here we have the weapon shop. Hi. Hello and welcome. We're not going to buy a weapon. In fact, I'm going to be selling my longsword here. You'll see soon why. Thank you for a patronage. Also, fun fact, this current weapon I have equipped, the Knight's Saber, you can actually not sell, even if you want to, so you can just keep it. Kind of neat. But also, well, you can never get rid of it if you have it once in your inventory. At least not by regular means. And... Excuse me. Excuse me! Sorry, I was daydreaming. I did not know that. Here we have new weapons. The saber, rapier, short bow, long bow. We can't use bows, but none of those weapons are better than what we have, so there's no point in buying any. So the weapon we picked up is incredibly strong right now. Semi-Bazad! So let's just explore the town. Actually, I forgot something I wanted to buy. Hang on. Although I feel like, so here's that item that I can buy in order to run, instead of just walking. I will try and remember not to run too much. Also, we can buy some chainmail if you want to, but it's pretty expensive. But chat boots, 210 gold for chat boots. Those chat boots allow us to, well, just run around. Whee! I'm not going to be running all around a whole lot in town, so people who would like to take a look at the town and stuff are not going to be just robbed of that, because you can move really fast in this game. I might just use running whenever I'm moving back to places. Kitty! It was stretching and then went to sleep. Good night. Oh, I'm sorry for waking you up. Hi. Hello there. I guess that's normal to walk into random people's houses and just talk to them. Hi.
Hey, you kid, you don't live here. Where are you from?
I'm not from here, I guess.
Welcome. What are you looking at?
Behind you.
What? Whee!
Wow. He just stole an apple. can't the other merchants keep their damn pets out of my store? That was a bush baby. He was just running. Hi.
Welcome.
Hello. Here we can buy bread, creamy cheese, and sirloin steak. So those are just food items. Usually food items are nice to have, I guess, but I don't usually bother keeping my food bag stuffed. Outside of the early game where it can be nice. What am I going to cook for dinner tonight? So the food system in this game is super simple. There's no cooking. Cooking does not exist in the original version.
You can buy anything you want here. A few hundred years ago, there was nothing here. And now, look. Haha, everything is here. You can... Hey, where are you going?
I would like to point out the clown is interesting, but based on where I'm standing, the music of the town fades out, and then the closer I get, town's music gets louder and louder. It's pretty neat, actually. Raccoon kitty, red panda. They are called bush babies in this game.
Hey you! Why not stop and watch my performance? I won't hurt to stop and watch. Why not take a load off?
Hi.
Check out the circus performer. That's so funny.
I heard Totus has been attacked. I wonder how much longer Euclid will be safe. Hi. He's really good at that. I wonder if I could learn.
It's not that big a deal. I can circle too. I wish I could do that.
Man. That guy's got some big balls. I hope he's talking about the juggler. A while ago, some soldier came to Olsen's house. I wonder what they did. Also, by the way, some of the humor might have been... Am I walking on top of the tree? Or is that just grass on the floor? I think that's just grass on the floor. Some of the humor may have been introduced with the fan translation, and there's one particular spot that I'm not going to be reading and voice acting. You will see why.
Hey, let's go watch the juggler.
I need to be careful. All the UV rays when of all the UV rays when I go outside. Get a hat. Hi. I hope this piece never ends. And there's just sunbathing there, I guess. Euclid days in. I don't want to sleep. Hello. The chief juggler.
Hello, I'm the leader of the Flying Karamazov brothers. It is a nice big town and people seem willing to pay for our services here.
That's nice.
Hi. Hey, out the way, I need to clean there. I make good money working here, so I don't want to lose my job.
Okay. Hi. Ew, he's sleeping with his eyes open. Hey Metal Bear, welcome. How are you doing? Alrighty, I do believe these were all the houses. This one is just a merchant. You can buy stuff at him. And well, let's take a look here. Hi, who are you, sir? There were lots of dark clouds in the southern sky. Must be raining pretty hard. Oh, yeah, actually it is. I don't think it's just the rain though. Up north, I believe we actually have something else here too. Castle Euclid. Hi. Welcome to Euclid Castle. This is Castle Euclid, center of the government for this continent. Well, that's nice. We can't seem to get in here. So I'm just briefly going in and out of... Oh, I guess I don't. I didn't know you could enter the castle like that. Or the castle area. Depending on where you enter a town in the old world, you actually get to different places. It's kind of neat. Uncle Olsen's house. We apparently went in the back way through here. Hello? Anybody home?
Chris, my nephew.
Uncle, it's been too long since I visited.
Chris, you've grown so much. I heard Toto has been attacked. Is it true?
Yes. Both of my parents were killed.
I was afraid of that. I'm glad that you're safe.
I don't know what to do, Uncle.
You can stay here as long as you like, Chris.
Thanks, Onchon. Ochuan. I'll try not to be a burden. Oh. Hi.
Chris, please try and to cheer up.
Well, our parents just got murdered. It's kind of difficult.
Chris, my nephew looks so tired. Please rest here.
Take a rest? Alright, let's rest here for now. In that night. Soldiers.
Uncle, what's going on?
Chris, I'm sorry. If I didn't tell them, they would slaughter the whole city. Please forgive me. If you cooperate, we won't have any trouble. This really isn't my day. Poke, poke. Move it. That's not terribly happy. I'm so sorry, Chris. In the meantime,
Someone's coming. What are they coming back for? Amy, I will have my revenge.
oh boy. He's been busy with, well, creating graves for the villagers. But
We have Alvin's son, sir.
by the way, his name is Chris Alvin. Good work. How foolish Miguel was to leave the pendant with such a weakling. It was you who attacked Todos, wasn't it? That's none of your concern. I'm only interested in you for one reason. Yoink.
Hey, give that back!
The second pendant is mine.
Guards,
Take him to the dungeon and lock him up. I'll decide his fate later. Finally, they are mine. Something's in the mirror. What's going on here? Get in there. Move it! Rude. We'll come back and finish you off later. Now what? Well, that doesn't look like a happy situation. I'll never be able to open this door with just my bare hands. Speaking of bare hands, they took away our weapon and also the shield. So there's been many jokes as in Chrono Trigger or Seeker of Mana, you get thrown into prison and they don't even take away your weapons. That's not true for this game, they were thinking of that. Well, that doesn't look like a happy jail cell. There's a hole here. There's no way I'll fit through that hole. Oh, that's too bad. What are we going to do now?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Huh? I could swear I just heard a woman's voice. It came from that hole.
Please. Give me your hand.
Who's there?
Someone who can help you. Give me your hand.
Put your hand through the hole? Wow, that sounds like a trap. Yes, let's do it. What is this? An earring? It's a little white horse. It's pretty, but how will this help? A little white horse, you say?
Place this on the wall, and you will be able to escape.
Wait a minute. Who are you? I'll give it a try. Whoa! Well, that earring seems to be pretty strong, and there's no one here. Something about her is familiar. Almost as if I knew her. Well, she's no longer alive for that matter. Who would do such a thing? And in case the pixel art doesn't make it sufficiently clear, she has a sword basically stabbed through her belly, and judging by the skin color, she's no longer alive since a while. Pull a sword from the woman. Yes. I can use the sword to escape. You pull the sword from her body. Longsword. Once I equip the sword, can I go through here? Pry the door open. I can. Actually, I don't know that you could also open up that door over there. I was not aware of this. There's a little thing in this jail cell here, so let's get that. Oh. Well, there's a lady over there. Hi. Are you okay? He literally said, "Are you okay?"
I'm alright. Who are you?
The name's Class. And yours?
I'm Mint. Thank you for rescuing me.
Come on, we have to escape while we still can.
No, not yet. Wait, please. We've got to save my mother. She was also captured. I heard from her from over there.
What? No, I came from that way and I didn't see anyone. Please, let's escape before the gods return.
But, I thought... No, I know I heard my mother's voice. She was trying to cheer me up. I'd know her voice anywhere. It was my mother.
Just like this, she has been swayed. But yes, from all we know, this poor girl doesn't know her mother is dead. I can't let her know yet. It would be too much for her to bear. So basically, Cress is trying to protect her for now. I'm just listening to this music, it's so good. This is Mint's theme. And while we're listening to it, let's take a quick look at Mint. This is Mint Adnade, or Adnate, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. She's a healer. Level 2, 1 experience away from level 3, which is always nice. Her tactics is help fighters. Whatever that means. I'll explain. So she has terrible attack with 7, terrible defense with 7, terrible accuracy. Run is basically the walking speed. Luck is actually really high compared to... Oh no, actually our luck increased now from 56 up to 188. Basically, luck gets rerolled after every plot event. Right now our luck stat is actually way higher than it was before, so that's worth noting. We had a really low one before, which might also have contributed to the high encounter rate. Then here, worth noting, you can rename all the characters if you want to. I'm not going to do that, but it's an option which you can do in the menu here. Also, this portrait on the right there, I actually really like how this looks. And well, the remake portraits look nice too, but this one is probably my favorite ones of the original ones, to say the least. Alrighty.
This looks like a sewer entrance.
Well, pry the grate open. And we are in the sewers. Mint is a healer. She can help you by curing your wounds in battle. She will heal you when you need it, most automatically, but you can control her manually if you want. If you don't want her to cast spells, you can disable the spells you don't want her to cast. So it is under the skill menu. That's no, well, yes, you can do that. So if she had any skills, I could disable them here entirely. In tactics menu, I can also tell her that she should use heal very frequently, very often. Health files is essentially just use buffs and debuffs on enemies. Conserve TP is she doesn't do much aside from healing. And value HP over TP is kind of my favorite setting. She will just frequently heal whenever I take any form of damage, if she had a healing spell. But here's an orange gummy. Down there's an apple gummy. But she will gain a level, and then she will be able to heal just next level. So, you may have noticed, we no longer have the Knight Saber. And as mentioned, the Knight Saber is a weapon you cannot sell. You cannot get rid of it from your inventory once you have it. Outside of this event, Mint learned first aid, and now she can heal. Very nice. Apple Gummy will heal us. Also, by the way, just real quick to show, if I can enable and disable it, so if I do this, she will no longer be using first aid at all. And I was talking about something else and I just forgot it. Whatever, let's go on for now.
What's that? It's some sort of ancient symbol.
These symbols are save points. They will allow you to save your game in a dungeon, which is kind of handy. And indeed, we can save here. It's kind of like those glowy spots in Final Fantasy VI as well. Same concept. I mean, that's awesome, I do agree. Oh yeah, the Knight Saber. You actually can skip getting the Knight Saber. You don't need to get it. You can just straight up leave towards Euclid if you want to do that. And if you want to, you could actually go ahead and grab the Knight Saber after you get thrown into prison and permanently grab that Knight Saber. But as I said, you would never be able to get rid of it anymore, so it's permanently stuck in your inventory. But it's a thing you can do. So we just got in the Wooden Shield. Wooden Shield gives us 30 more defense. That's actually quite a lot of defense. I didn't realize that would be this much, but it would make a run significantly safer if you used that in a speedrun. And so here we have a little leech. Those enemies are terrible. Let me explain. Those little guys, when you get too close to them, they spit on you. By the way, Mint doesn't have any attacks that she can use. And their spits do a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage. So trying to run up to them and hit them, they can hit you before you even arrive and be able to slash them, interrupting them. They interrupt you instead. And they, excuse me. And they can attack again and again and again incredibly quickly. So yeah, there's that. Here we have another apple gummy. And let me real quick explain. Normally in dungeons I'm not going to be running in most places. But there are those weird little rooms like this one here. There's no encounters here, so I can spend my time here as much as I want. Either way, I know the layout of those thingies. For the most part, I don't really know most of the items except for these ones here. Down here, we have actually an interesting item. This is a savory. What a savory does is... Ooh, 3 slimes. Let's try to take care of them. What a savory does is... Can we actually see that in combat? Mantle. Here's a savory. I believe a savory is an item that increases your HP by 5%. Your maximum HP, that is. Permanently. It's actually really nice. But at the same time, it is better to use those items later to increase your HP, well, more later. Let me actually just check whether that's savory I'm thinking of. Savory is over here. By the way, items that you just newly acquired are marked with green, so it's actually really easy to find items that you just newly got. Savory. Oh, it's TP by 5%. You can increase your TP by 5%. You can make it into HP, but I'll get to that later. We find a rapier. This is actually a weapon that is technically stronger. Also, by the way, I'm going to disable the battle panning, I think, because whenever the camera scrolls just to the right, it's kind of confusing to me. So, you can switch those items back from HP to TP and backwards again, but I'll get to that mechanic later on when we will be using it a bit more. So, we save here and briefly go over here to the left. There's 1,000 gold in that gold chest, and I would like to use it. So, what the rapier would do is, rapier is a poke or a stab weapon, and it does more damage stabbing than it would do if you, well, use it for swinging. Usually I use swings. I could use a stab here, just like that if I want to. Stab. Stab has longer range, which is nice, but it's also significantly slower, so I prefer just swinging all the time, because it allows me to recover quicker. Also, speaking of recovering, whenever an enemy is blocking, your recovery is, or your recovery time is about doubled. It's quite something. Also, green sea is on it, Tater. Welcome, I hope you're doing well. Mint just healed me, thank you very much. So basically she heals me as soon as I reach the threshold for needing to be healed, which I believe is 75% of your maximum HP. I'm not entirely sure, I think that's how it is. And here we go. Save again. You will soon see why I'm saving. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to set Mint to be very far back and Crest just in front of her. I have a specific reason as to why I do this. Because here we have our next little mini-boss battle. The Sewer King.
You'll never get by me.
Well, straightforward and to the point. So, this is the Devil. Or Sewer King as he was called in the cutscene just earlier. It's basically a little gargoyle. And that gargoyle has 2 little slugs. So the gargoyle himself is not too dangerous. The dangerous things are those 2 slugs here. As mentioned before, they attack incredibly fast, and I do not want to get close to them. So I'm just going to spam the Cyan Bolt and take them out from a range. One of them is dead. Also sometimes this guy gets in the way. Alrighty, and that guy is dead too. So, what I will want to do is actually briefly make this guy here move. So, I could use jumping attacks. Once again, I need to be far enough away from him in order to be able to execute a jump attack. So, I can do that, but there's a better way of taking this guy out. He always has the same pattern. He flies up and then eventually comes back down. So, if I'm close enough to him, horizontally speaking, he will decide to try and stab me. But what I'm trying to do is get him here. So he now has his back to me. I'm using a flare bottle to increase my raw attack power, and I just keep hitting him from the backside. I have way more levels and HP than I'm used to, so I didn't realize he would die this quickly. And well, that's the Sewer King. This is basically your first real lesson in combat with enemies that are flying, and also enemies that you really don't want to get too close to, which is why you have Cyan Bolt. So, we managed to escape the sewers. Hooray! Is this 100% English? Yes, it is. This is a fan translation, completely translated. Quite a long time ago, too. It's one of the earlier ones, I believe. We are safe here. Mint, watch out! Oh no, class! Careless. Oh, class, are you okay? Wake up, class! Someone's coming. We have to get out of here. Oh yeah, I guess the voice acting is always still Japanese. Father. Mother. Oh. You're back with us now? You... help me. Ugh. My head. Thanks. Where am I? You're in my house, south of Torres. My name is Tornix T. Morrison. Your class, I gather. Mint told me all about your ordeal in Euclid.
Chris, I was so worried. Why don't you step outside?
I agree. A fresh air will do you good, Chris. Okay. Alrighty. This guy just saved us. Tornix. Please go outside and get some fresh air. It'll do you good. And sorry for earlier, I was a bit distracted. Could you hear that in the background on my end? I hope not, otherwise I may have to change the volume stuff. And hey Flom, welcome, how are you doing? And also welcome to you, Naileen. I hope you're doing well. So, we are back in a place where we are now. What do you have to say, Mint?
Class, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. You saved my life back there, thanks.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
And well, let's just try and see where we can go. There was a room over here. There's probably nothing to see in here. I've actually... Ooh, a mirror. Never actually tried anything here. By the way, I would like to point out, I love how those plants look. Like, it's so simple, right? But really, I feel like it isn't. I just like how they look. Does he reach Sherlock Holmes or something like that? Who knows? Do we just explore this guy's mansion before we step outside? I guess so. He seems to have it rather nice in here. Hi.
My friend got me this job with Mr. Morrison. I've never had such a great boss. He's even good looking. Forget I said that.
Okay. Well, alright, fair enough. Alright, yeah, let's move outside. He even has a nice little pond. It's a really nice house, isn't it? He has a doggy. Hello. Woof woof. Woof woof. And also... Bonk. What? Looks like you're up and at 'em, Nicholas. Chester. Your friend here tells me your name is Cress.
Mr. Morrison found me while I was in Totus.
He helped me bury the villagers. So the horse you heard was actually not the knights approaching again. It was Mr. Morrison.
Ah, I see. What were you doing out by Torres?
I was following a man in black armor when I saw your friend and Torres burnt. I failed your parents. I should have been there to protect them.
You knew my parents?
Yes, many years ago, your parents, Mint's mother, Meryl, and I were all good friends. I probably know much more about them than you. Wow. Mint's mother too?
My mother.
Well, your mother is dead and you don't know about it yet, or do you? Grace, do you know what happened to the pendant that Miguel kept?
My father gave it to me when I turned 15.
Please tell me that you have it with you.
No, it was stolen from me.
What? No!
I was captured in Euclid and the man in black armor took it away from me. What's so special about the pendant?
It's happening again. I don't believe this. Stay here. I've got to go to the mausoleum.
The man in black is down there, isn't he? I have to find him and avenge my parents.
No, I forbid it.
Why, Mr. Morrison?
Please, my sister. Oh, please, my sister. You'd be no help. You have no idea what you're really up against. You can't deny us this. Have you ever bested your father with a blade?
Well, no.
Then you have no hope of helping. I'm sorry. If I allowed something to happen to you, I could never face the memory of your parents again. And off he goes. Wow.
Now, what are we going to do?
I don't care what Tornik says. I'm going after the butcher that killed my sister.
My mother.
Cress, you're quiet. What are you thinking? We promised each other we'd find the one who destroyed our lives and make him pay. Or have you forgotten already? Just damn it, Cress. Answer me.
Please don't fight.
Wow, it's noisy in here. Darnix, are you ready for tea? Oh, hi.
Master Tristan, you're alive. What are you doing here?
I always come here for tea. What are you doing here?
Well,
I see. Darnix asked to stay behind. Ask you to stay behind.
yes.
Tornix is such a self-important fool. He's so full of himself because he's one of the lost wizards.
Wizards?
Ah, you're Meryl's daughter, aren't you? You look a bit like her. I'm sure someday you'll be just as beautiful.
Wow. How do all of you seem to know our parents? It's eerie.
You really want to know?
Not now. First we have to avenge our families.
Class. Alright, Class. That's more like it.
You'll need to upgrade your equipment at one of the local traveling merchants. When you're ready, there's a cave to the east of here. Meet me there.
Huh? What is it, Class?
Oh no.
I lost the earring. Where could it have gotten to? Whatever, let's go. So he lost the earring with the pretty white horse. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you listen to this song for a short while, and I'm going to grab myself something to drink. Enjoy. Alrighty, I'm back. Hello there, is Mr. Morrison here? I see. Would you like to buy something? And this is one of those traveling merchants. I hope you enjoyed this song, because fully voiced song on a Super Nintendo? Kind of ridiculous. So, either way, here we go. What we can do is we can buy some stuff. Let's buy, let's see, chainmail for better armor maybe? I don't know, do we need that? First of all, I want to buy a longbow. Longbow for Chester is a significant upgrade for him. And let's buy 2 more flare bottles. We already have a rapier, I don't need to buy that. I could buy a saber. It has better slashing damage. But I don't know. Let's just buy a saber, might as well. And for the rest, buy 1 round shield and a chainmail. You have just enough money for all those things.
Thanks.
No problem. So, we can equip the best equipment here. And usually it just goes straight up by armor. It does not actually change your accessories around at all. So if you have other accessories to equip, it will never equip them usually. So, that is for Cress. Mint doesn't have a weapon, she doesn't really need one. She does not really get into combat at all. Also, let us go ahead and... Can I change formation? I don't think I can change formation. Well, at least not the order of characters. So I'm just going to put Mint in the back and Chester in front of her. And indeed, that is Yume wa Owaranai. Well, I'm not sure how I pronounce that right. But here we go. We are ready to rumble. Also worth noting, Chester is an archer in the status. I didn't really point that out. Chester Barklight is his full name. I don't think it's ever mentioned that it's Barklight, neither it's ever mentioned that she is called Adnaid. I think only Cress and some other characters are named later on. Jet boots fly away to victory. It's just for running outside of combat. They don't actually do anything in combat. So, a save. You always want to save before going to caves because they can be dangerous. Let's see, we are supposed to meet Tristan here. What does he have to say to us? Greetings, sir.
Tordix has left and descended to the tomb.
So, now what?
Just be careful.
Thanks, Master Tristan.
I'll teach you something. A skill that will help you.
A skill?
Yes, I know you've learned several already.
Yes, a few.
Combination attacks are more difficult. They require your body and mind to be in perfect unity, which is achieved by practicing the individual skills until you can execute them without a hitch.
I understand.
For example, the Scion Kick is a combination of the Scion Bolt and the Dual Kick techniques.
Can you teach me?
Your father had mastered that technique at the age of 14. It's in your blood to master the sword.
I understand.
Take it easy.
Cress learned the Scion Kick. So this is a double ability type thingy. I've actually never really gave them much thought or used them much at all. So what those double abilities do, well, nothing right now. I can't equip them. I need to master both the Scion Bolt and the Dual Kick, which means I have to use each one of those 100 times in combat. I'm not sure I'm ever going to get to that point, but hey, who knows. That's a lot of slugs. Once again, I really don't want to get closer to slugs if I don't have to. Also, let me put Chester here in the front. So in combat you can still rearrange your party. That way Chester will be able to actually hit them. He is terrible at hitting stuff. I wonder actually whether this does... He is on aim carefully already. I don't actually know what those commands do for Chester at all, like... No clue. Sometimes it also just stops shooting without a reason. Chester has gained a level. Did I equip his bow? I did equip his bow. He has 12 more attack, which is quite a lot actually. And here we are in the tomb. Oh boy. So this is interesting. Once again, I do not want to run in dungeon even though I could, because this will make encounters appear twice as fast. So here we have those little side rooms. There's no random encounters in those side rooms, so I don't need to worry about that. But here we have a sarcophagus. Open it? Sure. Well, shouldn't have to open it, or maybe we should. Either way, those sarcophagus encounters are almost always ambushes. Not always. Almost always. And they can drop life bottles, which is quite neat, but more importantly, we get items from those things. We're just grave robbers at this point, I guess. Protect ring acquired. What does that do? This sort of thing absorbs melee attacks, but has a 99% chance of disintegrating. So... if I get hit once using that thing, it will just be broken, I guess. Also, little rats are just running around here. You can't interact with them. And here is some more sarcophagus. Double kick, dual kick. Also, Tiger Fang does exist in this game too. So, here we have a spy lens. What does a spy lens do? Well, I'll show you soon. But not now. Here's another sarcophagus. Marinken. I actually have no idea whether those double abilities are anything worth looking at or whether they are particularly good. And here we found an hourglass. What does an hourglass do? It's actually pretty amazing. An hourglass stops time in combat for your enemies, but not for you. For 5 seconds, I believe, is the hourglass. You can upgrade the hourglass to a chronoglass and it stops time for 10 seconds. So you can do 10 seconds whatever you want and the enemies can't do anything about it. It's actually ridiculously strong, honestly. Like really, really, really powerful. Mint has gained a level and learned hammer. What does a hammer do? Also, we just found a chainmail. I did not know that. I did not need to buy a chainmail. I forgot what was in the other thingies here. So what does hammer do? Well, Mint is not going to use hammer at all, unless I tell her, because her tactics tell her to only use TP for healing. So I can tell Mint here to use hammer on this guy. Big Gohan, and it just stuns enemies. It's actually really good at that. And I just got hit there. You may have seen the lights. I didn't take damage. But... well... we find a rune bottle. And my ring is broken. One attack and that thing is gone. So... yeah, you probably just want to sell it instead. Although money is not usually an issue anyways. So... we just got a rune bottle. Use this to identify unknown items or transform some items. So, when I said earlier you can upgrade the rune glass, you can use a rune bottle on a rune glass to make it into a chrono glass. Essentially, usually whenever you use the rune bottle on an item, it upgrades it. Unidentified items get identified too. Get identified as well if you use a rune bottle on them. And some items just transform it to completely different items. If you use a rune bottle on a savory, it becomes a red savory and increases TP by 10% of your max permanently. And then if I use a rune bottle on that item, it increases my TP by 10% for my health instead. And basically, if I use I can just kind of switch it between affecting TP and HP if I just use more and more rune bottles on them. Hey, welcome back XF, and well, enjoy your food, and also thank you for the holster, bro. I appreciate that. So, we just keep walking through those dungeon floors. It's not too difficult or too big of a dungeon overall. It's kind of straightforward. It's your introductionary thing, to say the least. And we just keep moving over here. Also, up here we have a weird little room that doesn't contain anything. More ghouls and skeletons. Once again, I will probably start running away once we are in areas where I've already beaten the enemies. And they are not terribly interesting to fight. The skeletons are pretty awesome. By the way, I love the ghoul animations. They just kind of go when they try to attack. They're kind of neat. Also, greetings to you, Credo. Welcome. Also, if you have ever wondered where the emote comes from, Mint comes from this game here. So here we have a statue. You just heard the switch. And on the left there's stuff now. So there is many hidden things in many different places. So exploration in this game is rewarded quite a bit. And you might be wondering, why are you just standing in front of this statue? Well, I'm mashing the A button. Why? Well, that's actually kind of a weird thing about this game. Another chainmail. Can Chester actually use a chainmail? I didn't even think about that. He can. Well, it's only 2 more armor, doesn't really make much of a difference. Either way, I was mashing the A button standing in front of that statue, found a sage and mixed gummy. Sage is, by the way, increases your HP by 5%. Use a rune bottle on it, it increases it by 10%. So, and here we have some cheese. That's kind of nice. But, well, I'll explain the statue after this thing here. So here we have... I think I can push this statue around. It moved. Indeed. So here we have a golem. This is our first encounter with a golem. And also, let's just use a spy lens on it. Golem has 280 HP total, no TP at all, and that's that. He has pretty high defense, so Chester being able to take care of it from a range is actually quite nice. We could also use Mint's hammer. Just try to stun it. Fail. It's actually a pretty decent chance of stunning those golems. And you don't want to get hit by them, they deal a lot of damage. That was 113 with one swing. But yeah, because they're so slow, they are reasonably simple to deal with. And we get a holy bottle from them. By the way, pushing and pulling objects in areas where there can be enemy encounters literally depletes your step counter twice as quick. As if I was running, Also, by the way, those zombies are just fun. This is kind of hello, my hair, hey. I love how they look. Either way, pushing and pulling a statue depletes my step counter twice as quick as if I was running. I get into encounters twice quick in areas, so you want to push and pull items and such as little as possible. So, also, we did get a holy bottle. What does a holy bottle do? Well, holy bottles prevent enemy encounters. We now have a little white aura around our character. And that aura prevents enemies from attacking us for exactly 255 steps. Orange gummy, remedy bottle, creamy cheese. So, does the statue actually stay there? It does. I did not actually know that. Huh. Push the statue into the switch so the door stays open. And here we have... I feel some strange energy radiating from this. We'd better keep it with us. Found a lace ruby. What does that do? It's basically a key. Either way, holy bottles allow me to walk exactly 255 steps without getting into an enemy encounter. So that means I can use a holy bottle in a specific place and I will always know when I get into another encounter. And more specifically, the holy bottle effect, the aura itself, lasts for 500 steps. Whenever I go into a safe room, or out of a safe room where there's no encounters, it will reset the step counter until next battle, back up to 255. If I go in here, well, I have 500 more steps. This is a safe room here, there's no encounters in this room. Same with this one here, and as long as the aura for the holy bottle still lasts into this next room here, I have 255 steps. Even though the aura just disappeared, it's still 255 steps until I get into another encounter. So now we can go through this main door. It was actually closed off earlier. I didn't even mention that, did I? And we have a weird thing here. We get teleported. Isn't that strange? Oh well, let's just move on to those moving platforms. It's kind of a hot area, I guess. Have I played the PSX version of the game? Yes, I've played through that one too. And personally I prefer the SNES version here. But I do think, casually speaking, the PlayStation version is overall way better. It is, let's say, this game you can clearly feel how old it is and how the programming and developing standards were different back then. But the PlayStation version improves in almost all areas, except for the overall map. I like this the overall map in this one way better. But that's about it. So we just got a rabbit's foot. Increases the bearer's luck. Interesting. To my knowledge, this thing doesn't do anything. Aside from luck, it might influence critical hit chance. Let's see, 188 luck. It might influence critical hit chance. $206 luck, so it's 20 luck more. So it should also on average let me get into less encounters. Here we have falcons and zombies. Oh no! I got destroyed! Oh goodness. Alright, fair enough. Their deaths marked the end of all hopes and dreams. So this is how easy you can die. I'm a derp. Let me real quick get back there. So, the reason why that just happened is because I actually have... Let me also use a flare bottle right here. Killing this thing a bit quicker. The reason why my character moved into the middle of the enemies and got just destroyed right there is because I didn't think about this, but the manual targeting always targets a default enemy in combat. And I'm really not used to whichever default enemy that might be. Also, let me real quick replenish my TP items here. I'm really not used to whichever enemy that might be in combat that I'm not usually fighting. So I probably should go for semi-automatic targeting again, so I'm always targeting the enemy that is right in front of me, rather than something random. Because I don't plan on skipping all the battles. So I just got another holy bottle right here, let's just use it. And set the targeting back to semi-auto. Manual is better for speedruns, but I'm not speedrunning right now. As you can see, the door just immediately closes when you're no longer stepping onto it. I actually don't know whether it influences anything but enemy damage. The Hardmode, that is. I have no clue. It might affect HP or something like that. I do not know. So either way, 4 skeletons, not too much of a fight. Let's just run away from those. Chester might get hit here. Thank you for healing. The difficulty is built in. It is actually a special thing you can activate by pressing X, Y, B and A on the title screen when selecting new game. You will hear a little yatta! And there's that. So once again, those are safe rooms. And I can also run through the entire area here. I know my step count will not run out until I'm here. Alright, we're back here. I think the holy bottle just ran out. No, it's still there. Okay, in this room, by the way, now I still have 355 steps. Let's not be derpy this time. I mean, isn't it ironic that I got destroyed right as I equipped the rabbit's foot? I feel like increase the bearer's luck might not exactly refer to me. Aside from enemies dealing more damage, I don't know what hard mode actually does. Let's just equip it. You can also equip items through the item screen if you want to do that. By the way, there's something weird you can do with those platforms. I don't exactly remember how it worked, but I'll probably figure it out again. Uh-oh! No! Oops, I dropped the lace ruby. Well, we need that lace ruby. You can't just do that, buddy. Let me pick that up. Recover the lace ruby. So, real quick, you're not supposed to get the lace ruby right here, because normally when you step one more to the left... Crud! The ruby fell down into the basement! You're supposed to drop that thing again. I do technically have the lace ruby now, and you need the lace ruby in order to go in here. The door is sealed by some kind of power. However... Whoa! We're floating! Cool! Yep, we are floating. Superman! What does that even do? Either way, if I go back into the previous room and then go back into this room here, it will allow me to... don't destroy me, please. Okay, they are probably going to be fine here. If I just pick up the lace ruby like that, I will actually be able to continue, just to gain the level. Holy cow, those enemies deal a lot of damage. I'm not used to that at all. Because I don't normally fight enemies. So we can actually use Mint's healing ability to just heal without using items outside of combat. Limited range and float. Oh yeah. We cannot float all across the thing. Reverse doll found. What does a reverse doll do? Well, reverse stall. Revives if you're knocked out, but 99% chance of disintegrating. Sounds like a useful item that I could use right now. So basically, when you get knocked onto the floor, you get revived. Pretty simple. Also, we're no longer floating. Let's go and float again, because in the basement you really want to be floating. Trust me. I did not realize that this was a limited amount of steps. Or maybe it's a limited amount of time. Not sure which one it is. So let's see, what other encounter do we have? 2 falcons. Falcons are scary. I don't want to fight falcons. I guess Jester is pretty well versed to deal with them. Also, by the way, when I run away, I can just run back by pressing R after running away. Sometimes you can still get hit by enemies if you do that, so be wary. So this floor is not looking friendly. That's why you want to be floating. Also, normally you would find the lace ruby right here. It's not here because I already picked it up. As I said, you're not supposed to pick it up. So, let's see what is in this chest and how much damage did we take. A bunch. That zombie is just falling over all the time. Alrighty. Those falcon, as in the flying enemies with their diving attacks, are ridiculous to deal with, it feels like. Also, there you could see the auto-targeting, charge targeting the falcon. I did not do that manually. Apparently it's not just when walking. Mint gained a level, and we got a life bottle. Useful. And we found some lavender. What does lavender even do? I believe it increases your strength by 1. I will be using those, but later. Unlike the items that increase your TP, also, we took damage from the floor. It's not too much, but it's noticeable, so I want to heal. Unlike the items that increase your HP and TP by 10% and such, it doesn't really matter too much for me to use those early with the strength, but I still want to wait because rune bottles are hard to come by right now. Later on there will be a lot more common, so it's fine to use those then. But for now, we can go through here thanks to having the lace ruby. This is why you need the lace ruby. And the game never specifically tells you that, but it's just kind of implied, you figure that out. So either way, I'm going to tell Mint here to help fighters, so that means she's going to spam her little Pico Hammer as well. And we just move up here. Boom! We get assaulted by statues. So, I'm attacking those guys, and I'm also using a flare bottle here onto Cress. Flare bottles only last about 10 seconds, but considering it's such a huge damage increase, it definitely feels worthwhile to use those on the golems. So there's 2 golems, one is in front of us, one is behind us. Mint is keeping this guy at bay. And that makes it easy to deal with those guys, just keeping them far, far away. I wonder whether food items actually restore your TP as well while walking around. I don't think they do, but I'm curious to try. Also, I just took a lot of damage there, and Mint does not have any TP to heal. This is why you want to keep her as a healing battery instead of telling her to use Pico Hammer. But Pico Hammer can be amazingly good. Crest gained a level, Chester gained a level, and we get 2 more holy bottles. We don't have to use them here because there's no encounters in here. Let me actually see real quick. If I use food items, cheese. Oh, cheese already makes my backpack full. We currently have 32 TP and 7 TP. No, it only refills your HP. It does not refill your TP. Alrighty. Oh, lavender. I see. That's fair. Lavender is German pronunciation. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate those. Malice, your time is up. He's called Malice? Wow. You've done nothing but come all this way, only to die now. What a pity. Well, oh, I told you not to follow me. You deliberately disobeyed me. While he was distracted... Oh boy. Now watch as the seal is dissolved. What the hell is going on here? Now, our king will return. What are you talking about? Listen to me now. After the Valhalla War, 100 years ago, a great king attempted to take over another country. His name was Daus, but he was somehow defeated by a group of warriors. Kress, your father had a hand in the defeat of the same King Daus a decade ago. Tornix, what the hell are you talking about? Malice is trying to reawaken King Daus. You and Mint are the children of those who sealed Daus here in the first place. Your father, Miguel, and your mother, Maria, along with Mint's mother, Meryl, and I. We were the 4 warriors who sealed Daus here when you were but small children. Me? And me? Yes. Somehow, Daus is using malice to unseal himself. What a happy little reunion. Not that it matters. I'm sorry, Tornix. Chester, Mint and I... We have a score to settle with Malice. Mint is always a bit more hesitant. I love that little nods in the cutscene to Mint's character, by the way, or anyone's character. There's always a little bit deliberate movement. I'm sorry, intentional detail. Yeah. We've got to avenge our families! Welcome, dolls. Now, show us the meaning of power. I am a Malice. Grant my wish. Destroy these infidels. You foolish man. Don't you know I've only been using you? What do you mean? You serve me now. I released you. All who oppose me will die. Let me refresh your memory. You came to this shrine 3 months ago, and I enticed you into finding the pendants for my release. Your weak mind is your undoing. I hope hell has something special in store for you, you weak-minded buffoon! Impossible. Look out! But why? You served your purpose, but now you have outlived your usefulness. This can't be! You humans always do whatever you want. You have no concept of the big picture. You're inhuman! And you are damned eternally in my sight. Your sword will be ineffective against him. I will send you to a place where you can gain the power you need to defeat him. You are our last hope. What are you talking about? Take this book with you and remember your parents. Your time is up, old man. I've got to act fast. Jester! Jester, no! Jester, wake up! Where did you send them, old man? Ha! You think I'm going to tell you? I know they fell through time. I'll find out when and where they are. And when I do, they are finished. Douse, you. This will be your final resting place. You'll see how you enjoy years of darkness here. Chester! My head. Mint! Wake up, Mint! Oh, Crass. Where are we? I don't know. It's beautiful. Chester? Tornix? We have to find Mr. Morrison. We can't just stay here forever, class. Let's go. It's just that all this is my fault. No, it's not. If it hadn't been for me, my pendant, none of this would have happened. What's that book? Tornix handed it to me. The Journal of Tornix T. Morrison. Long ago, Daos fought with 4 warriors, but he escaped through a time portal to our time. Miguel and Maria Alvin, Merrill at night, and myself, Tornix T. Morrison, sealed Daos in a sarcophagus with an incantation. The seal could only be dissolved by the 2 pendants used in the incantation to create the barrier. Sir Miguel took one of them, and Lady Merrill took the other one. We vowed to never meet again or discuss what transpired that day, for fear that someone may release the monster called Daos. Our parents were heroes. We've got to find a way to stop Daos, but first, let's find someone who can tell us where we are. Good idea. It's Chester's bow. Chester, forgive me. I'm sure he's safe. So, real quick, ladies and gentlemen that are currently watching this live and in chat, if you do know the story, please keep in mind that this is being recorded with the chat on the left side, so if you are saying anything, please make sure that it's not spoiling the story for someone who may have never experienced or even heard of it. I would appreciate that. So, we are here. This looks familiar yet different. Very familiar. Yet very different. Interesting. And we have bugbears and owls in here. Unfortunately no longer a Chester that... Ouch! 100 damage right there. Unfortunately, no longer a Chester that can help us with the ranged attack with the bow, which was really, really handy to use. Maybe I should start using more food items for now. So, what do we have here? It's an hourglass. Another one. How convenient. There's an item hidden, orange gummy here, and also even better hidden, a sage. So, those items are actually kind of neat to have early on. So, I like collecting them as we go along. Bees! More bees! No, spoilers in the sense of please don't mention something that will happen later in the story that may have happened, that may, well, or may not happen, because even if you say something that is not going to happen and you know it's not going to happen, it's still going to just kind of make the story weird for people that may not be aware of how it actually transpires. I remember this forest. Yeah. Isn't that weird? We found another reverse door. And here, this tree is not quite rotten yet. And more owls. Maybe I should just run away from them. They are pretty scary to deal with overall. Thankfully, if they're low enough, just swinging at them is pretty efficient since they have rather terrible defense overall, so they don't usually dodge or block anything for that matter. Alrighty. Well, let's go to the city that was just over there. That looks a lot like Totus. By the way, whenever I bump into a corner and get pushed to the side slightly, I actually save a step in terms of how many steps I take towards the next encounter. Like if I just bump into this corner here, this basically is one step instead of two. Kind of neat. So you can elongate how quickly you get into encounters by doing this. And here we are in Beladum Village. Beladum Village? Item shop, hi. Welcome. And we can sell our reverse dolls. I guess maybe I'm going to use those. Sounds useful. And we have medicine bottles. Cures poison but reduces your strength by 20% if used in battle. So that's wrong. You would say cures poison, but we have a remedy bottle that does everything too. I guess it's slightly more expensive, but why would you ever use a medicine bottle? Medicine bottle does not do what it says right there. What medicine bottle actually does, it prevents the status effects, but you deal less damage. So there's that. Status effects like petrification and poison, I believe. Anything will be, well, not happening to you, so that can be really handy. Yes, I'm pretty sure it prevents those status effects straight up, rather than helps them. There's a cave east of this village. I see. Hi.
When I grow up, I'll be like a greater swordsman in town.
Aha. Swordsman? Well, we used to know one. Also, by the way, the shadows are nice. Hi.
Hey, look, everyone, outsiders.
Who are they?
They're just kids.
This looks just like home.
Excuse me, where are we?
Whoa, stranger. Where did you come from?
Well, I'm Kless. I'm from Totus, and this is my companion, Mint. We awoke just south of here, but we don't know how we got here.
Totus? Never heard of it. Anyone ever heard of a Totus?
Oh. Well...
The lady on the right is just kind of staring at us.
No one seems to know anything about this Todos of yours. But for some reason, I don't think you're lying to me. Is it possible you were sent here by magic?
What's magic?
This may take a while to sort out. Please come in and we will talk. Follow me.
Sounds suspicious to me. Let's check it out.
My name is Linios. I'm the village elder. It's nice to meet you.
Linios? I've heard that name before.
Linios? I know that name from somewhere.
I can't believe you've never heard of magic.
I can't believe that you don't know mana is the power of healing.
Apparently they've had a conversation just now.
Healing? Whoa! I feel 10 years younger. But I don't have a clue how you did that. So, magic is like this. Fireball!
Whoa. Whoa. I bet magic is the key to defeating Daos.
Defeat Daos? Not likely.
You know who Daos is?
Of course. Daos is the most inhuman fiend in the world. Every day his armies conquer more of the world.
But Daos was just released.
What are you talking about? Daos has been in power here for over a decade.
We must be in a different time period? Is this our future? No. Look at where we are. The houses. This has to be our past. Of course, Linus. You're the man who founded Todos.
Future? Past? What in the world are you talking about? This is the year 4202.
100 years in the past? I think I'm going to faint.
Oh. Elder, look at what you did! He threw a fireball. Poor guy.
This is amazing. I can't believe it. Visitors from our future.
There's no other explanation. I know it's too much to ask for you to believe us, but please, tell me more about dolls and magic.
Yes, of course. Dolls can only be hurt by magic. That's why Alvanista and Midgard are researching it. The problem is that you can't use magic.
Really? Why not?
Humans can't use magic. Only those with the blood of elves can.
Elves?
Well, pure blood elves or half-breeds.
That's the only way?
Don't worry, I'm sure you can find someone who is willing to help you in the fight against Daos.
Is there anyone you can think of?
So you're really thinking about going after Daos?
Of course. Maybe that's why we were sent here.
Perhaps, but...
Please, we have to do something for Tornix and Chester's sake.
In Euclid, north of here, a man by the name of Clarf F. Lester has devoted his life to studying magic. He is a stubborn fool, and may seem standoffish though.
Thanks for your help.
It really was my pleasure. You look tired. It would be my honor if you'd stay here for the night.
Thank you for your kindness.
I'm about ready to hit the sack.
Yeah, me too. Chris, what is it? There's two of us and, only one bed. What?
Oh, that took him a moment.
Oh, gee, I wasn't trying. Of course not. I'll just sleep here on the floor.
I love those little cutscenes.
Good night.
Mm-hmm.
100 years. Is there even a way back home? Maybe if we are able to defeat the house here, then history will be changed. So Chester and Tornix will be saved. Chris, are you still awake? Yes. Tomorrow's another day. Yeah. Good night, Chris.
I love how she just goes over there, sees he's asleep, but doesn't have any covers. Brings him some over there, and then quickly hurries back to bed herself. It's so cute. Alrighty. And we're in the pot now. What does that even mean?
Hi. Please take this. I don't need it.
Received a medium food sack. I did not even know those exist.
Thanks, madam.
Well, I guess we can have more food in our food sacks now. Food is only used up if you actually need to heal, so we can't just put everything into the food bag, I guess. We don't have any more food though. Oh well. Goodbye.
Have you met Clarf yet? He lives in Euclid.
Well, we haven't even left your house, good sir.
Yeah.
So originally this was called Belladum Village, and then it was renamed to Linius, because... Yeah, I can't believe this is really Taurus. I never knew there was a text box here. Wow. I was just randomly pressing the A button. Weapon shop.
Welcome.
Longsword saber, sharp saber. That sounds nice, but not going to buy it. A Verdun, a battle axe, chainmail, ringmail, leather hat, iron circlet. That doesn't look like a circlet if you ask me, but fair enough. Leather gloves, a round shield, umber cloak. We might buy upgrades sometime, but not now. Hi.
It's a beautiful day.
It's wonderful to be at peace.
Hi. It's nice to meet you. I'm a magic user myself, but my power seems to be fading.
Yes, well, the further they basically get away from the elven lineage, the less magic power people tend to have. And how is healing magic different from other magic? I have no idea, but there seems to be a very clear distinction between the two. I do believe basically healing magic does not use the same type of mana, and which is why it is still present in the current day. Because for some reason it got lost in 100 years and no one knew that. At least the children didn't know about magic being even a thing at some point. Although Tornix did tell us he was a wizard, but well, if you have no context and never heard of magic, how would you know what a wizard even does? Hi, how are you doing?
I want to become a magician. I practice every day, and someday my boyfriend and I will take our act on the road. Oh.
Hi.
What to do? I can't leave the village because of all the monsters.
Greasy Balance Maker, and welcome. How are you doing? You think the magic source is different? Yeah, I think so too. That's probably the main difference. The concept might be the same, but the source is different. That is the armor shop. And I would say let's just hit the road as well. So, Let me think about this real quick. Yeah, we probably just moved north. There is a thing to the south of here, but I'm just curious about that Clark F. Lester guy. And here we have Hornets. Also, Mint, please do no longer use your Pico Hammer. Hornets might be too strong for me to take out. Ah, 173 HP done. I might not want to try to take those out at all. Those seem strong. I'm out of here. Thank you for the heal. Uh-oh, run! Oh no, Mint got killed in the way out of here. Oh, that's less than pleasant. Let me actually use a holy bottle for now. We did get 2 more holy bottles from the 2 golems earlier. If I only find them, there's the holy bottles. So inventory management is actually a big deal in speedrunning, and I will probably set my inventory to a specific way to look once we get to a certain point. Would I recommend Tales of Phantasia to a modern Tales games? To a fan who has played the modern ones. The SNES version is a bit very different. Spylens, life bottle, steak. Steak is a food item. The SNES version is very different. I'm not sure I would recommend the SNES version necessarily. So we have found a mystical rune. I will get to that in a moment. And down here we find an elixir. Elixir restores 100% of your HP and MP. Really handy. So, either way, I'm not sure I would recommend that to someone who has played the more modern Tales games, because this one here is very, very different, honestly. It's a lot more cutthroat. You see a lot of the beginning of the mechanics that are not quite as refined yet. If you would like to play a Tales of Phantasia game, I do recommend the PlayStation version if you're used to the newer Tales of games, for that matter. So yeah, that's that. The PlayStation 1 remake is really good. Basically, it's still not quite there where you know from things from Tales of Symphonia, but it is way further along the road than this one here. Alrighty, so you can actually go between those things. It's weird, I'm not sure why. Over here, this is Euclid Village. It looks a lot smaller and also, well, it's 100 years in the past. Found a rune bottle and a mixed gummy. We'll be using the rune bottle soon. So, let's however see what might be in here. Hi, how are you doing? Hey, what's shaking? None of your business. Go away. Wow, rude. What's wrong, Mint? Wow, she's got it bad. What? She looks fine to me. Cass, it's obvious. She's lovesick. Lovesick? Just look at the stars in her eyes. We have to help her. It's none of our business. I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear it. Wow. You hear the PSP one is kind of bad? I haven't played it much, so I don't really know. 4 seasons in. Hi. The GBA one is just super laggy, but other than that, it's actually a fine version. I'm visiting here from Venetia. It's safe for you to travel alone? I have God to protect me. See all my holy bottles? They ensure my safety. And that's kind of an allusion to the holy bottles that we've been using to reduce encounter rate, essentially. A room is 20 gold. Sure. Enjoy your stay. Thank you, Laughlin. Appreciate that. And yes, if you do know the story, I know it too. But some people would like to maybe experience it for the first time, so avoid spoilers, please. A friend of mine told me that the gnomes live in the cave south of Bellatum. Gnomes? We know a gnome from Secret of Mana. Probably doesn't have anything to do with that. Euclid. Hello, little one.
Hi. Look at that can fly.
He's just running around.
Hi. Do you think the war will affect Euclid?
The war?
My mom told me Midgard is on the brink of war with Doubt.
Midgard, you say? Sounds like a useful ally or something like that. Cat. Crazy cat lady?
Hi. I'm trying to get dinner ready.
For the cats?
Yes.
They're very picky.
Meow. Meow.
Hi.
I love my babies. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Hi. Look at all these hairballs. Ew, you probably want to clean that up sometime. Is that a dog? One of those cats just made woof noise. Which one was it? I did not even know that. I just had to interact with all the kitties.
What?
There.
That one's a dog.
Looks like a weird dog, but... Oh well. Okay. Here you can get food. I'm not going to bother. Hi. Oh, that's the same little lady. Alright. There might be some other NPCs in here though. Countries have been forming huge militaries lately. I'm a traveler. I felt some strange power coming from the Long Valley near where the astrologer lives. The Long Valley?
What am I going to make for dinner?
I suggest food. Here we have 1,000 gold. Weapons. Hi. What can I get for you? Let's see. Sharp saber, burden, battle axe, windmill, iron circlet, leather gloves, kite shield. That sounds nice. I'm not going to buy it though. You'll soon see why I'm not buying anything. Hi. We have many important goods we bring down from Phantasia.
Hi. I want to go outside and play, but that make me work today.
Welcome. Apple gummy and all those things. Talisman. Talisman, a magic charm to raise all your resistance by 5%. I mean, it's something, but there's better items. Iron boots. Iron boots make you heavier, decreasing your speed by half. Why would you ever want to use that? Why would you ever want to use that? Good question.
Thanks, come again.
Well, I just bought 2 of those. And just listen to that amazing music. What do you have to say about this little guy?
These guys are terrible.
I'm not going to say that. So yeah, fan translation is a bit crude in some instances. For the most part, quite fine though. Not a fan of the crudeness. But while we are having this lovely music, let me show you something. So earlier we picked up an item that is called the Mystical Rune. Half the time needed to cast this magic spell. So this thing is really good for casters that have spells that take a while to cast a lot faster. And I would like to show you something real quick. If I try to sell this thing, it gives me 32,900 gold. So if I want to buy one, those are insanely expensive if I buy any. So yeah, I'm also going to sell the stake, sell this longsword, sell the short bow, sell the wooden shield, sell the tunic, the rapier, just basically cleaning up my inventory. Sell the mantle, sell the chainmail. I'm going to keep the reversed all. Sell the spy lenses. I'm not usually using them anyways. Sell the mixed gummies. They are good money for now, but I'm not going to sell the mystical rune. It's really, really good. Oh, one thing I actually wanted to sell. So we early got an elixir. In a lot of games, elixirs are not worth much money, like 1 gold or stuff in Final Fantasies. Here, they're worth 10,000 gold. When are you ever going to use an elixir in battle? Aren't you one of those people that just always says, yeah, I'm using it in a high emergency? I'm never going to use it, so I'm just selling it for 10,000 gold. It's pretty nice actually for that much money. So then here we have a little hidden passage. And found a charm bottle. Hi, how are you doing? How did you find the way up here? Nice view, huh? Well, yeah, I guess. Is that more than that? No. It's actually slightly less, isn't it? Hello. What do you see? The mountains, they're beautiful. Alright, let's see what's in here. Hi. Sir?
Miranda, please set the table.
We're looking for a Mr. Lester. Do you know him?
Huh? I should hope so. He's me, after all. What do you want?
Mr. Lester, we're looking for a way to harness magic.
Well, in order for me to teach you all that I know, it's not cheap. You're looking at about 100,000 gold in expenses, payable up front.
We have no way of having that much cash.
We are pretty close though.
Well then, sweet thing, you'll just have to come back when you've got the gold.
Don't call me that.
Well, you never properly introduced yourself.
My name is Mint Adnade. This is Class Alvin.
We need magic in order to defeat dolls, and Linus told us we should consult with you.
Dolls? You must be joking. Well, I'm not doing anything before I get paid.
Oh, I don't believe in you. Clarf, you silly ass. Listen to what they're saying.
Shut it, wench. You just met these people and you're trying to push them away. You stupid, stupid, stupid man.
I'm sorry about him. He can be so immature sometimes. Surely there's someone else that can replace him.
What? How can you say this total bullcrap to my face?
Am I wrong? You're not showing them that you can be very dependable.
Who says I'm not dependable? I'm all they've got. I'll show you.
So you've changed your mind? Please join us, please join us, Mr. Lester.
Join you?
Yes, please.
Please explain your cause to me. I see. It's quite a story.
I know it sounds crazy, but it is the truth, and we'll never be able to defeat dolls without magic.
Look at my ears. I'm not an elf. I'm not even half-elf. I can't use magic either, but...
But what?
I have a theory. I believe that I found a way for humans to use a form of magic. This is why I've devoted the last several years to studying summoning.
But you can't do it yet.
Oh, shut it. If we go to the Long Valley, I think we'll find what I'm looking for. Crescent Mint, right?
Yes, absolutely. There are all kinds of books on magic here. Why don't you take a look?
Sure. Hey, it's money. Hey, put that back!
It's Clark's secret stash. I never knew that. I just wanted to look at the books. It's a letter. Dear Sir Clark, unfortunately skill and technology to create the kind of rings you requested doesn't exist anymore. I've researched several artifact repositories all over the world and can't seem to find the rings anywhere. Perhaps they are in the Moria Gallery, because that's where the dwarves lived. J.R. Eddings. Moria Gallery. Nothing here. Nothing there except books. Binding spirits. In order to contract with a spirit, you need the appropriate ring. The elf, Leonardo, and the dwarf, Aegis, created several such rings ages ago. It's an old newspaper article. An ancient magical tablet was discovered in the Moria Gallery. Albanista scientists have been studying the tablet. Leading authorities say the tablet is an artifact of the ancient dwarf's culture. Moria Gallery. Once again. And yes, the translator did take a few liberties, and in my opinion the crude language just doesn't fit quite in there. It's not particularly much, so I think it's mostly alright. So, Magical Society Volume 1. The spirit world is divided by upper and lower houses. The lower houses consists of the 4 natural elements and Lord Maxwell. Magical Society Volume 2. The upper house consists of Shadow and Aska. Other spirits are independent entities and are not associated with a house. Shadow and Aska. The 4 elements. The 4 elements of our world are earth, water, fire and air. Each element has an embodiment called an elemental. Definition of elements. Earth, water, fire and air are the elements of this planet, but there are also the elements of darkness, light, moon and others. Elementals. The physical world has elementals that embody the power of a given element. For example, wind and sylph, water and undine, fire and ifrit, earth and gnome. When those 4 come together, they can call Maxwell. Moon and Luna, light and Aska, darkness and shadow, and so on. There are also other spirits who embody elements not of this world. It's a book of spells. It's no use to us. It's best to put it back. I did not know that. That's interesting. I need to remember that. This is a comic book. A book of spells. Alright, I need to remember that one too. Actually, I have no idea where I get all the book of spells, so yeah. Alrighty, and we now have Clark F. Lester in our party. What does he even do? He's a summoner. Tactics: call many spirits, but he cannot call any spirits yet. Well, how old is he? I believe the game says somewhere he's like 27 or 30 or something like that. Either way, he's not that old, but for JRPG standards this is kind of ancient. Either way, what does he do? Sometimes he attacks with a book, but only if he's in melee range. So basically he doesn't do a whole lot right now. So we are looking for elemental rings and the likes and doing stuff. Where are we? This is the Long Valley. Legend has it that air spirits live here. Air spirits? Summoning is the art of creating a bond with a magical spirit that allows you to call them to use their powers. These contracts are symbolized by and manifested in an appropriate ring. Ring? Let's talk to the man in this house. I mean, he literally told us that he is researching, so... Pardon me, sir. You're Bart.
Are you not? Who are you? My name is Clarf. I want to contract with the spirits of air. That isn't advisable right now. Ever since that earthquake a while ago, the mountain souls seem to have gone stark raving mad. Climbing the mountain may be impossible. I'm really in a hurry. I have plenty of money for the ring I need. Well, you seem to be really needed, so I will give you the opal ring, but you've got to do something for me in return. What do you mean? Several weeks ago, my daughter disappeared. Several weeks ago? Whoa. I'm worried she may have tried to climb the mountain. Alone? It's too dangerous for a young girl. Please look for her. Agreed. You give us the ring and we'll look for your daughter. Her name is Archie. She's easy to spot because she's got a long pink hair and she always keeps it up in a ponytail. She's friendly, you can't miss her. You have my word. The spirits are at the summit, over the eastern bridge. And Bart gives us the opal ring. Thank you very much. Richter Shade, welcome to you. Thank you for the good luck and thank you for the host. Hope you're doing well. Hi. You'll want to take a rope with you, as there are long drops of may need to climb down. You can buy some rope in Hardmode village just north of here. Alright, so we go and buy rope before we go anywhere else. Sounds like a plan. His portrait does not match his sprite at all. His portrait does not match his sprite at all. And the hat is different. Aside from that, I would say it's close enough. But yeah, I feel like they were going for something very specific with the portrait. Either way, here we are in Hardmode village.
Hello. If God as nice as they say, everyone goes to church every Sunday in this village.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll fight God eventually. So in some RPGs you do. I don't actually know that. Whether that's a thing in this game, no clue. Hi. Hey there. Armor shop. What do you have for sale? A ring mail, iron circlet. You know what? I don't have a helmet yet, so I'm going to buy an iron circlet. Leather gloves. We don't have any gloves either, so buy one here. Kite shield I'm not going to buy. Amber cloak. Apparently Clarf already has Amber cloak equipped. By the way, real quick about the name Clarf. It is kind of implied, and also later on in different translation, he's named Claus rather than Clarf, which makes more sense. Like Santa Claus, it's just Claus. So we could get an amber cloak for Mint. We could get a hat for her. Let's get an amber cloak for Mint and a hat. Sounds like a plan. I don't think I need a ring mail. I don't think... Paper or plastic? No. I don't think it makes much of a difference. So, we have now head equipment. Let's see, the cloak has 3 more defense, 87 more 1. I guess this one is easier to run in than her regular equipment. Then she has a mitre and mitre. A hat worn by clerics and priests. Better defense, better run. Run might just be evasion for all I know. That makes more sense actually. Then for Clarf, I don't think we got anything for it, did we? And in here, we are in the weapon shop. Welcome. In the weapon shop we can buy a warrior sword or a crescent axe. The crescent axe is overall the strongest weapon we can get for a while, so I'm going to buy that and just equip it on Crest right here. So, it's a lot better than what we had before, let me tell you that. It has a very, very high slice attack, but the stab is actually not all that great. I believe the warrior sword is the opposite of it, but since I'm more interested in slicing rather than stabbing, this makes sense for me to go for. Hi, how are you doing? Everyone's praying at the church. How curious. Does that mean you're there too? Hardmode Church. Hi.
And bless Mom and Dad.
Hi.
The Scarlets used to live here in town. Mr. Scarlet was a powerful wizard and was researching a new type of magic when he died.
I've been having a strange nightmare recently.
My grandfather used to tell me stories about a great civilization called Thor. I wonder if they were just fairy tales. I dreamt an awesome destructive force obliterated this world.
Awesome?
Mr. Scarlet had a student named Demetal, and when Mr. Scarlet died, Demetal cried a lot at the funeral. I think Mr. Scarlet died in some tragic accident.
If you pray every day, God will smile on you.
I wish my wife came to church with me.
Oh. Hi. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Is that the English version of that? I've never heard that actually.
Are you travelers?
Yes, we are.
Then I will pray for your safety.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
The Scarlet family moved here from Midgard.
From Midgard? We know Midgard. We want to be allies with Midgard. Probably. Alrighty, and this is the last building, I believe. Holiday Inn. Anything in here? Nah, we just recently rested. We don't need to rest anything in here. Alrighty. So, actually I was wrong. There's another building here. Hello.
What can I do for you? This store is owned by Richard A. McIntyre, the mayor.
Alrighty, welcome. So, we are going to be stocking up on things. So first of all, I'm actually going to sell one apple gummy and then buy one again. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm actually going to do slightly different. The reason why I'm doing this is basically I want to be able to buy those items. Before I move on, however, let's see. Holy bottles. I buy 2 dark bottles. You will soon. I need 1 pickaxe and a rope. Must have for anyone venturing into caves or climbing mountains. Used to break down thin stone walls. You need 1 pickaxe and 1 rope. So you don't want to get rid of those anytime soon, you just want to keep those. Holy bottles I will buy soon. So, first of all, I'm going to buy those. Then, I'm going to buy supplies. Including holy bottles. Oh, wait. Wait. I don't have enough money for this. I don't want to buy mixed gummies, they are way too expensive. Life bottles, flare bottles. And holy bottles. So, now I'm going to in my inventory and order them by latest acquired. So, now holy bottles are always at the top. Flare bottles are just to the right, life bottles down here, remedy bottles here, orange and apple gummies not too far away. And this will pretty much stay in my inventory for a long time to come. Also, let us finally use some rune bottles here. I'm using a rune bottle on some items. And that item is iron boots. What does it do if I use it on iron boots? They become Persian boots. This pair of boots looks like it pulls, increases defense by 30%. Not entirely accurate, it reduces all incoming damage by 30%. So iron boots transform into Persian paws. They don't stack if you equip 2 of them, but equipping them allows me to just take a whole lot less damage. It's actually pretty amazing. So I'm going to be equipping those on Mint and also on Cress for taking less damage. Mint has the chat boots, that's fine. I'm not going to equip the Mystic Rune yet. I want to give that to Actually, let's just give this to Clark now, because he will be able to cast eventually. Also, Clark has exclusive accessory items that only he can use. This is an opal ring, a summoner's ring. The wearer is granted extra defense. Those rings have various different properties, only Clark can equip them. In this case, it's quote-unquote just more defense. But it's a lot more defense, like that's a lot of defense. And he will be able to survive a lot. A tomb. A book full of notes and magical research. That is his weapon. That's literally what he carries in combat. So, yeah. Nice. Did I actually learn any new abilities by now? I did not. Well, Scion Kick technically, but still need to use Scion Bolt a whole lot more. I wonder whether I actually should grind that out sometime, just to see what happens. Either way, I would like to actually stock up fully on those bottles. So can I sell anything? Oh, right. I forgot. Yes, I could. I'm just going to sell the reverse doll. I'm probably not going to use it anyways, because it occupies a item or accessory slot. You only have 2 of those. So I'm just going to stock up on holy bottles, because we will want to use those in order to not get into too many encounters. But once again, I'm okay with getting into encounters and fighting them, because this is a casual playthrough. There is a method of completely avoiding all random encounters. In a speedrun, once you get holy bottles, after you get into the past, you will be able to avoid random encounters 100% of the time. Also, this is just a thief's mantle. I thought it was a spyglass, I was wrong. Thief's mantle helps you run away 5% faster. Well, I don't think this is runaway speed actually. I believe this is just movement speed. Either way, it's not all that great, but might as well equip it. Nah, let's just keep the reverse doll. I think this movement's in battle, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, here, those are rocks. I'm going to use a holy bottle here. And then, I'm just interacting with the rocks. And they explode! I don't know why they explode, but the pickaxe is what you need in order to get rid of those rocks. If you don't have the pickaxe, nothing happens. Also, by the way, why did I use the holy bottle before going here? Into, or interacting with the rocks? I'll explain it after this cutscene, but let's try to move on, and we get blown away by the wind. We cannot go anywhere else, so that's a little bit awkward. Yep, we cannot go up there. So, those are creating the wind. Why are you doing this, guys? I feel sick. Those are sylphs. Why are we attacking sylphs instead of trying to form a summoning pact with them? Well, they're attacking us. Well, I guess I'm attacking them first, but something has gone wrong here. Rune bottles acquired. Nice.
My fellow sylphs are losing control of their powers from the air of the realm of magic. It is seeping out of several rifts in the cave. Realm of magic?
It's shocky. Sickness caused by overexposure to the air from the magical realm. Shocky? So the sylphs have lost their minds? What is shocky? I believe there was a joke lost in translation, most likely. It's the air from the realm of magic. This mountain must connect to that realm somehow. A rift must have opened between the two. The air is seeping out of those rifts, and the sylphs are breathing it in. Humans can survive for a while, but magic-based beings cannot if they are not acclimated to it. Then they'll end up like the others. Then let's switch the rifts. Let's keep an eye out for the holes in the ground. Agreed. So basically the sylphs are going mad because of, I think it's also called miasma, that is leaking from The magical realm? Well, let's call it a deep realm, because that is more appropriate. And here, whirlwind. It's a whirlwind! I wonder if the seals made it. Well, we can just walk through it, it just damages us a little bit. Also here, we would get blown across the whirlwinds, just damaged even more. Yeah, the seals did make that. More sylphs. Hello! Well, we can't talk with those guys. Sounds like a good place to save. Good evening, Fabian. Welcome. How are you doing? Yes, this is the fan translation of the SNES version, also hard mode. So this is where you need to rope, if you don't have rope. By the way, even though it looks like the rope is left there, we still have it, so it's fine. So, let me real quick explain as to why I use the holy bottle before interacting with this rock here. Basically, holy bottle sets my amount of steps I have until an encounter occurs to 255, which is the highest possible number. If you interact with anything in the overworld, such as those rocks or reading a sign, even if you interact with a sign from the side, press a switch, pull a lever, it increases your counter until you get into a encounter with an enemy by 1. I don't know why that happens, but it just is +1. And 255 plus 1, well, that doesn't work. It just overflows and goes back down to 0 for that specific number, and 0 means you are supposed to get into an encounter. But because I'm not taking a step, I don't get an encounter, and the 0 essentially just means I'm not going to get into an encounter anytime soon. However, I only did that in the first area. As soon as I change screens, I will be getting into encounters again. By the way, I would like to point out, hang on. Clarf attacks with his book. Those guys deal a lot of damage, but Clarf in a lot of cases actually just straight up doesn't take any damage. By the way, I love the animation of those weird little zombies. They're just gonna then they flop over and that's their attack. You're doing fine? That sounds nice. I'm doing quite excellent, thank you. So, once again using Holy Bottle before interacting with a wall. No more encounters. I will still get more encounters, I'm not going to abuse that mechanic too much. But when I would like to explore an area, I might just end up using that. Because there are certain things I just don't really know about many areas. For example, there's chests, there's hidden puzzles. In my casual playthrough I didn't find everything, and I also completely ignored a lot of other things. Hey, now we can interact with the sills from the backside.
Help me!
So the way we are helping the sills, by the way I'm using a flare bottle to deal more damage, to one-shot them. The way we are helping the sills is by, well, killing them, I guess. And we just learned Lightning Bolt. Goodbye, little selves. Sorry about that. We learned a new ability, Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is a lightning element damage. And that's actually a lot of damage. That's one of the best abilities you can get early on. Items. Here we find a kite shield and an umber cloak. I didn't remember that there was an umber cloak, but I remember there was a kite shield, which is why I didn't buy one earlier. So yeah, I think that run thing is basically evasion. So that means chance to block. So now that those guys are gone, we can actually go up here. And here, we have that miasma leaking out. And it does damage us. However, you cannot die to this environmental damage. You would get reduced to 0 HP. If I can just roll this stone into the rift, well, then we might be able to help the sylphs. More ghasts! Once again, whenever you push or pull a heavy object, it will reduce your step counters twice as fast until you get it to a battle. So there's that. Deep Mist was learned. Deep Mist? What does that even do? Deep Mist. Blinds enemies, causing their melee attacks to be less effective. Interesting. Wonder what I found use for this. So we need to push this rock over here to the left. Stepping onto this thing also hurts you, but after you basically plug the hole to the magic realm, you can go through. More ghosts. Thank you for the helmet. So double kick is actually unfortunately not all that great. But maybe I will want to use Sign Bolt and double kick a bunch more just to try and train them up all the way for magic. What do we have here? This is like the realm of magic in the legend. This place is filled with shoki, and there may be demons about. If we meet a demon, I suggest we run. What? No what? They can't live without a shoki here. Well, he suggests we run, and I do think that is a good suggestion. Hope we don't meet any. Hell Lord. We're going. This little guy is a Hell Lord. We will deal exactly 0 damage to him, but they are super easy to run away from. They have abilities that just one-shots your entire party. This is an encounter you're not supposed to win. If you were to somehow magically win, somehow, you actually don't get any experience for it either. Because you're not supposed to do that. You could go for some shocky now. Nice. For anyone who does not know, that's basically chocolate. I would love to have some chocolate right now too. You heard first aid over months after finishing this game. Nice. I'm just looking at stuff right now. I know where to go normally. Ghosts! So this entire area does a lot of damage to us, and I probably should be a bit more wary about enemies dealing damage. Let's just spam Magician. We have a lot of TP to use. In the meantime, Mint can heal us up. Bless Dragoon, thank you for the host. I appreciate that. So Zion Bolt doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it's pretty decent. And Clarf has gained a level. He's now level 10. He's actually the highest level party member we have. So there's another rock right here. We just pull it. And there's one more hole on the left. Oops. In the PlayStation version you actually can move those diagonally, but it's kind of awkward to do so. More ghosts. Well, at least it's not a Demon Lord thingy. I feel like after this I might have almost Cyan Bolt mastered. I would just need to master double kick a bunch. I'm going to use Orange Gummy here on Cress. By the way, you cannot spam items in this game. Also, items are not bound to be used by a character, it's just generally being used. So unlike other Tales games where the characters use the items, this game here just allows you to... Sign World Master, nice. Alright, this game allows you to just use those items like, well, just like that, without anyone being able to use it. But if everybody gets, let's say, defeated and the last person gets petrified, you still game over, or stunned for that matter. Because technically no one is there anymore to use it. So we are actually going to switch off Sign Bolt to Lightning Bolt in case I ever want to go for attacks. And in the meantime, we could heal, but it's not necessary. Put the last rock into place and, well, no more Shoki or Miasma is leaking out. I'm not sure why I call it Miasa. It might be in the PlayStation translation that. Find a rune bottle here. Now all the sylphs are basically gone from the area. The seals should recover now. Bart told us that they were at the summit across the bridge. Oh, Bart told us they were at the summit across the bridge. Let's go. Indeed. So this is the summit. You could have gone here earlier. There was no point in doing so, but you could have. In the meantime, let me actually heal up with mint real quick. Well, just give her some orange gummies. To heal up more. Heal up all the way, mint. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, your allies do not actually master abilities, which would be a nice touch too. Hey Blaster Dragoon, greetings to you. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. And it's going quite well here. And thank you, Lachlan.
Hi. You're the ones who sealed the rifts, aren't you?
Yes. In return, I'd like a contract with you.
I will grant you a contract, but there's something you should be aware of.
Oh? What's that?
Even if we make a contract, it will be void soon enough.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
Magic is being consumed faster than it can be replenished lately. Soon, the magical spirits and their powers will vanish from this world forever.
But why?
If you visit the Tree of Life on the southern tip of the continent, then you may be able to save magic before it's too late. Take this, the element orb. It will allow you to speak with the spirit of life.
I understand and will do my best. But there's one more thing. Have you seen a young woman wandering around the mountains?
You're the first people to reach the summit of the mountains in months.
I see.
Well, I will grant you a contract.
Spirits of magic, I beseech you. Grant me the power of air. My name is Clarth. Clarth gained the ability to summon the sylphs. And summon them he will, all the time. Which is fine, because it doesn't... It's damage. He actually is able to do damage now, without being in melee range, and hitting enemies with his books. By the way, it's worth noting that all the encounters are now gone from this area, so you can freely explore them. It's kind of nice. There's one more item I want to get. This is a charm bottle. Let me real quick explain charm bottles. Oh, don't do that. Charm bottles makes you get more attractive. Use it to get 30% discounts at stores, which is pretty good. Like, you can just pay 30% less. But it goes even better. If you use a rune bottle on it, it becomes a lotus perfume. It's, by the way, in the Japanese version, it's a miracle charm. Makes you more alluring. Use it to get 50% discount at stores. Also, the lotus perfume sells for about 12,500 gold itself. So it's pretty good. Well, that's an understatement. It's really good. Either way, I think I would like to go ahead and get some more iron boots somewhere from, because I would like to give the potion boots over to Clarth as well. Although that doesn't... There's no hurry for that. His opal ring actually protects him from a lot of harm, so I don't really need a third pair right now. But I could use them for something else. No fighting self to prove worthiness. We already fought a bunch of them, so I feel like that's fine. Oh yeah, we needed to find the daughter. You did it! The wind has returned to normal. Yes. And what of my daughter? Sadly, the sylphs have seen no sign of your daughter. I see. Oh, where could she be, Archie?
Please don't worry. We'll keep an eye out for her, okay?
Thank you, young lady. Enough. Let's head for the Tree of Life.
It's south of Beladam.
The Tree of Life. Well, we have visited a tree before, so this could be interesting.
Before that, let us go back up here. There's no time to stay here. Let's make our way to the forest. Sure. I just wanted to be here real quick. Use a holy bottle. And buy 2 more pairs of iron boots. And buy more holy bottles. Also, I'm going to sell the Lotus perfume. Also, it's only 10,500 gold, I guess. Don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore. Alright, we have a bunch more money now. We won't need it anytime soon, but I feel like that was a worthwhile thing to do for now. So, skills, Sylph. Summons the spirit of air. Sylphs are wind fairies. And also pretty decent damage for someone who didn't do anything before in combat. That's all I wanted to do here, I think. So let us go to the Tree of Life. And yeah, I see you, Blessed Dragoon. I hope you have a pleasant day. Also, greens to you, Blood. Welcome. Hope all is well for you. Well, I mean, at least I hope it's going to get better for you, Blessed Dragoon. Better than it is before. That would be pleasant. So, we go south up a lot, let me say. So here's a little trick. Let me explain real quick. Normally when I enter this town, I land at the top, because, well, I enter the town from the top. There's a thing you can do here, where I basically go left here, I hold left, and enter the town 1 tile to the left, and this leads me back to the bottom. So you can save a little bit of time going through the village. And steps off your holy bottle if you care much about that. Alrighty, we are back in the Spirit's Forest. Let's see what that Tree of Life is all about. Before that, I guess we can go into a random encounter, which isn't that random. I knew exactly where it was happening because it was 255 steps. So, use another holy bottle so we don't get to encounter too quickly. And here we have the Tree of Life. It's withering. Is this the Tree of Life? Look at that! Apparently we got an orb to communicate with a spirit. Interesting. I forgot about that, by the way. I've seen her before. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Please listen. If things aren't changed, the world will be destroyed. I'm Martel. I'm the guardian of this tree, but the tree is dying, and I cannot restore it by my power alone. What's wrong? The powers of magic and mana originate from the trees like this one. All the mystic power in the world is housed in this tree? Yes, but if the tree dies, magic and mana will cease to be. That's incredible. When all the magic has vanished from this world, when will you then will you believe? I trust what Montel is saying. I saw this same tree 100 years in the future, in my own time, and magic doesn't seem to exist there. And the tree was dead. Truly? Then it must be. Mana is required for magical spirits to live, and without those spirits, magic will disappear forever. What can we do? I can't pinpoint where, but I sense that mana is being consumed at a terrible rate. Then we've got to save the tree, otherwise we'll never be able to defeat Daos, because magic will no longer exist.
All my research will be for naught. Wait. Wait, there's so many more questions I have. Oh. Martel, I promise I will heal this tree. Huh, don't just stand there, give it a try. Nothing happened, it's still dying. If only I was as skilled as my mother. Ah, not much is going right today. But we have the chance to change history by what we do here in the past. We have the chance to defeat Daos before he gets in to our time, and none of this will ever have happened. Not only that, we can find what it is that's eating up all the mana and stop it. But how? I'm sure Luna, the spirit of the moon, can help us. But in order to contract with her, we need a moonstone ring. The only one I remember reading about is deep in the Moria Gallery. The Moria Gallery? Wait, is Moria not Moria? For some reason, whatever. It used to be the cavern where the ancient dwarves lived, but it's under Alvanista's jurisdiction now. Alvanista? It's the most socially and economically developed place in the world. I've always wanted to visit the magical research center there. I'm sure we can find transportation to there from Venezia. Well, I guess our next goal is to go to the Venezia. I guess first aid is enough to heal a tree. Oh boy, do I have a story for you. But we won't get to that until quite a bit later, unfortunately, so I'm not going to spoil it. Oh, it does stop time. Oh. So whenever Clarf uses a spell, briefly time is stopped. So I would like for him to not use any spells at all until I tell him so. Otherwise he will just use them uselessly against all the tiny little enemies. The dwarves were in control of Moria, but then they dug too greedily and deep. I'm actually curious what the original Japanese text said about Moria. It might just be Moria, as in they didn't care much about those kinds of copyright rules. Also, my holy bottle has run out. I was going to use a new one. And yes, that lady was Martel, the Dryad. Let's see. Uh-oh. This town is... How awful! Are they all dead? And... to make it short for you guys, yes, it's implied they are all dead. There's no bodies laying around here, which is curious, but you never actually figure out what specifically happened with the villagers. To be fair, they're all supposed to be in the church, but you can never actually enter it, so... no clue. Flashbacks. Hi. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm okay. What the hell happened here? It was Demitel. Who? Demitel attacked this town and killed everyone. I guess not just implied. Then we have to punish him for his crimes. What? We don't have time for this. We have to help her. Not you too, Mint. I know we're in a bit of a hurry, but it's important to us in a way you wouldn't understand, Clark. What are you talking about?
Actual flashbacks. Yeah. Cress clearly remembers. Never mind. Cress is right. Ah, fine. I sense this girl has magical gift. So maybe she can help us after all. I don't know how to thank you. My name is Leah Scarlet. Leah Scarlet, you say? Then make a left and head north towards Phantasia. Then let's follow his trail. Mint, this is Kless and Clark. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. So she's just accompanying us after everybody in her village was killed. Can we look at the status for her? Leah Scarlet. NPC. Actually, don't know that they had portraits. That's neat. Do you hear children screaming in my background? Yes, my little nephew does not want to go to bed. Sorry about that. Which also brings me to a good point. I think we'll probably stop playing this game here for now, because there might just be a lot more background noise. It's unpredictable, but now that he's here, I think we'll continue this some other time. But ladies and gentlemen, I really like this game for many different reasons. Among others is attention to detail. I've been just kept going on and on about it. But also, this is the game which, well, Noah has been speedrunning before it, and it kind of was my little project. Let me tell you real quick. Within 1 week, I had a little project we called the Focus Week, and, well, within the Focus Week, the whole goal was to learn to speedrun, maybe route it, and then complete a run at the end of the week. And one of my first projects of such was Tales of Phantasia here. There was not really much of a good speedrun before. There was one Japanese runner who did a run before. There was a tool-assisted speedrun that I could learn from. There was a lot of resources overall, but not really a speedrun that we know today. And I managed to figure out a lot of things about the game, just kind of pieced it together, figured out more strategies that not even the tool-assisted speedrun uses, and well, it's basically kind of my favorite speedrun in the sense that it's mine. Unfortunately, no one has managed to pick this up as a speedrun. A few have tried and also just kind of kept at it, but I'm not sure how interesting this game is as a speedrun compared to other games. I personally just really like it because, well, it's my speedrun game and it's going to be presented at RPG Limit Break 2018. I'm actually really looking forward to this, so this is why this is a casual replay. I want to just know the story, be able to explain everything, maybe even have things on the side, maybe even discover new things for the speedrun along the way. So that's that. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this, well, part for Tales of Phantasia. We will be finishing a playthrough of this reasonably quick. Let's say within a week we should be through this without any trouble, just chipping away at it every day. So there's that. Thank you for watching, for listening, for lurking, for being around, for being awesome, and take care. Until next time.